not be construed as individual investment advice. Drayton Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
It's springtime, and instead of getting outside and having fun, you have to paint the deck, repair the boards, and discover more rotten wood on your deck. Call Outdoor Living Unlimited to replace the old, beaten-down wood deck with a beautiful new composite deck with new railing. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, March 20th. Your top story, the statue of a civil rights icon is now gone.
I'm Jessica Ty. Chaos coming to the nation's airports.
Some pops of sun today, partly cloudy, high 52 degrees, a little cooler lakeside, mostly cloudy tonight, and a low of 34. Could hit 60s in Lind on Saturday. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, a Cesar Chavez statue in Milwaukee is no more.
On the plaza outside El Rey Family Market on the city's south side, plaques honoring the legacy of Chavez were removed from the store's entrance. El Rey co-founder Ernesto Villarreal says they want to recognize immigrants and plan to replace the statue with one of a migrant family. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A 41-year-old man is dead after a police chase and shooting in the village of Summit. Chase started Thursday morning in Jefferson County for a driver with possible felony warrants. Waukesha County deputies then took over and the vehicle became disabled in a field near Highway 67 north of Highway 18. The armed driver then got out of the car and ran, pointed his weapon, and was shot by a deputy. Here's the sheriff.
We believe in fearing for their lives. Deputies responded by using deadly force.
2 deputies were involved. It's not clear yet if they have been placed on administrative duty at this point.
Oh, it's a new warning about the potential for real chaos at the nation's airports if the partial government shutdown continues. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza at Newark Liberty International.
DHS data showing agents on Wednesday called out 5 times as much as a typical day. Nearly 40% of workers in Atlanta and Houston, 25% at JFK here in New York. While the call-outs and a spring break surge pushing TSA lines out the door, it is leaving some travelers at wit's end, waiting for hours to try to get through security.
Director of Public Affairs at Mitchell International Airport, Harold Mester, says Milwaukee is not seeing a major impact, but tells WTMJ travelers should still plan to arrive about 2 hours early. TSA agents have been working without pay since mid-February.
The Senate convenes today to resume consideration of the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, also known as the SAVE Act. If approved, people would be required to show proof of citizenship to register to vote and a photo ID at the polling place. CBS's Anthony Salvanto.
Requiring a valid photo ID to vote gets wide support to 80%. Almost all Republicans feel that would be a good idea. We also see that with 2/3 of Democrats and a big majority, almost 8 in 10 independents. Requiring documents showing proof of citizenship to register to vote. That's 2/3 in favor.
That new poll shows fewer Americans think there is widespread fraud in U.S. elections.
The war with Iran nearly a month old, and the country's been targeting oil facilities around the Middle East in retaliation. It's also continuing its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge.
This happened just before the beginning of Shabbat, so it clearly could have been way worse. We think there aren't any fatalities in this impact, and it's likely that this was shrapnel coming down from an interception or potentially a munition from one of those cluster missiles, which we've seen Iran firing repeatedly at Israel over the last few days.
Price of oil and gas already skyrocketing. Experts warn it could get even worse as the weather gets warmer. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The market plunge continues. The Dow off about 160 points at 45,864. NASDAQ down about 300 today at 21,820. And the S&P off about 50 this afternoon at 65.56. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Bubbles burst, some brackets busted. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
Hey, the Lenten season is here. Experience the fabulous all-you-care-to-eat Friday fish fry at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here, one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free every night, even Saturdays. Savor your favorite steak, the twin lobster tails, the mixed grill of a filet, shrimp, and scallops, honey glazed salmon, any entree, ribs, you got it. All buy one, get one free. Desserts also buy one, get one free. Only at the famous Fox and Hounds. Unwind tonight with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Enjoy in one of the 8 elegant dining rooms with 7 real wood-burning fireplaces. You're going to feel warm and welcomed and cozy. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half of your dinners are free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine, serving dinner from 4 p.m. today. Dine early. Tables are open. Serving Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. Google, call, and reserve your Friday haddock Lenten fish fry and free dinner. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Another Cactus League night game for the Brewers, taking on the Diamondbacks this evening. Second baseman Bryce Terang back with the crew after being named to the first team All-World Baseball Classic team.
I would rather not be on that list and win the gold because I want to win so bad. It's cool. It's really cool. I had a good time, and, I couldn't be in that position without my teammates. Those guys were so great to me. They made me feel comfortable.
Brewers begin the regular season Thursday of next week against the White Sox. 16 games on the NCAA tournament schedule today. Action is underway in a couple of regions. The biggest upset on day one of the tournament, the Badgers falling to High Point 83-82. VCU and Texas A&M, the other double-digit seeds to advance. And semifinal Friday in boys basketball in Madison. Semifinal games being played in Divisions 1, 2, and 5 of the boys basketball tournament.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic at 12:07. We do have one crash I want to let you know about. It is south of Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. 4194 North, very close to Rawson Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked because of this crash. It does involve a semi. I don't see emergency responders out there yet. Or it's possible, because this crash did happen a while ago, it's possible that they were already out there as I look at the timestamp on this. But we do have the semi off to the road still because of a crash. That's 4194 North, very close to Rawson Avenue.
A pretty nice day today. Some clouds and a little mix of sun. High in the mid-50s, a little cooler lakeside this evening. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 34. Sunny for your Saturday. Could hit 65 inland. Again, a little cooler near the lake. Chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 48. Sun returns on Monday with a high of 43. Tuesday's high 45 under mostly cloudy skies. It's 48 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Well, you made it almost to the finish line here. It's a Friday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News. Greg and Jessica with you until 3 o'clock. Brewers coming home here after a couple of more days. Exhibition games in Milwaukee on Monday and Tuesday in advance of opening day 1 week from yesterday. Baseball, we're starting to feel it. And good luck to all the teams out in Madison playing in the boys' high school basketball championships.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
More Marines are being tapped to help with the war in Iran. U.S. officials say the American military presence in the Middle East may increase in the days ahead. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the latest from Washington.
2 U.S. officials tell ABC News 3 amphibious ships carrying 2,200 Marines left San Diego earlier this week. Formally, officials say the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit left on a previously scheduled deployment to the Indo-Pacific. But sources say their ultimate destination is likely to change. If they're given final orders to head to the Middle East, it could take weeks for the ships to get there, where they would join thousands of other Marines already headed to the region aboard other vessels.
This is the second massive deployment of Marines of the past week. The Pentagon already sent the Japan-based USS Tripoli and the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit to the region. Some Marines from southeastern Wisconsin are currently deployed with the 31st MEU.
Well, sad news from the world of Hollywood. Martial arts world champion and action hero actor Chuck Norris has died at the age of 86. A specific cause of death has not been publicly released. His family described it as a sudden passing in his state of Hawaii. Norris suffered an unidentified medical emergency on Thursday. He was said to be in decent spirits as of Thursday night, though he was in the hospital. Norris starred in a number of action movies in the 70s and 80s before landing a starring role in the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger in the 1990s. And years ago, Chuck Norris facts became a thing. Do you remember any of these?
That was so fun. I couldn't tell you any of them right off the bat, but I know some people can just spit them out like that. But that definitely became a thing, the Chuck Norris fact.
Yeah, it sort of developed another level of his stardom. Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. He can slam a revolving door. Chuck Norris doesn't sleep, he waits. Another, when Chuck Norris does push-ups, he pushes the earth down. Chuck Norris passing away at the age of 86.
A sign of spring at the Oak Creek Power Plant. The first peregrine falcon egg of the season has been laid. The nesting pair, Essity and Joel, are back together for their second year. Now they're caring for their first egg, and more are expected in the next few days. You can see the moment. They have this video when mom kind of moves away and reveals the first egg. It's a beautiful color, too. It looks like speckled rust. If all goes well, chicks could hatch in just over a month, and you can watch it all unfold on their live nest cams. Those are so popular.
Fastest animal in the world is the peregrine falcon, capable of reaching speeds over 242 miles an hour during its hunting dive. That is insane.
That is incredible. It's 12:12. Activists took more than 20 dogs from Ridgeland Farms, but a prosecutor already investigated the facility and filed no charges. We ask him why next.
Hi, I'm Sandy Max. From groundbreaking to grand opening, I've watched Three Pillars' new Lake Country active adult community, The Fields, come to life. And let me tell you, it is stunning. The Fields is a neighborhood-style community unlike anything else in Wisconsin, and now you are invited to experience it for yourself. Join them Tuesday, March 24th for a special information session on The Fields and see firsthand why Three Pillars Senior Living Communities is consistently ranked the best in Wisconsin. Reserve your spot now at threepillars.org.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt. 153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Goalrilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now, when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt.
At Associated Bank, we know running a business is tough enough, so our business is making your business banking easy. That's why we make sure it speaks your language. Business and consumer-linked accounts? How about all your banking all in one place with one login account? $50 overdraft grace zone? Think of it as a I never said I was a CFO grace zone. And maintenance fee-free account? Well, free is always good. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
A pretty nice day today. The sun is out in much of our listening areas. A little bit of cloud coverage. Overall, pretty nice day. Highs in the mid-50s. Overnight low in the mid-30s. Could hit 65 degrees in Linda on Saturday. Sunny and mild. And a slight chance of some rain falling into the equation on Sunday. We drop back into the upper 40s. It's currently 46 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:14.
It's a story that sparked outrage from all sides this week. Dozens of animal activists broke into Ridgeland Farms in Dane County over the weekend and took more than 20 beagles. They called it an open rescue. Ridgeland Farms has been breeding dogs for biomedical research for decades. In fact, it's been in business in Dane County for 60 years. It's also been under intense scrutiny. While emotions are running high after this latest incident, there's an important piece of context that can't be ignored. A special prosecutor spent months investigating whether what was happening at Ridgeland Farms actually crossed the line into criminal behavior. That investigation ultimately led to a major change at the facility, but no criminal charges. So what did he find? La Crosse County District Attorney Tim Granke joins us live now with the details. Thanks so much for joining us, Tim.
Sure, no problem.
So you led the investigation into Ridgeland Farms last year. Can you first explain to our fans why you were brought in as a special prosecutor?
The Dane County District Attorney's Office did not prosecute the case, and so citizen activists went to a judge, which is a rare thing done in Wisconsin, but it is possible, to ask a judge to issue a complaint. The judge did find there was probable cause for various violations of the law and then needed to appoint a prosecutor to handle the case, and so she appointed me to handle the case. That was my involvement in it. Basically, the judge giving me the authority to prosecute the charges that she found probable cause for.
Tim, as part of your involvement, did you visit the facility and take a tour inside and out?
I did not. No, I never went there.
You reviewed a ton, though. After everything you reviewed, did Ridgeland Farms break the law?
The number of violations that Judge Landford found were not something that I could prosecute because the majority of them were either very old, so beyond the statute of limitations, like going back to like 2010, or there were violations that were what I would call a technical violation that any business or farm might have on an inspection where things were remedied, things were fixed. And based on investigations by the state, DATCAP, and the USDA, I found that most of them just did not have any evidence to go forward. The only one that I did find there was some evidence that I could charge would be what were called the cherry eye procedures, and that was found to have been done a number of times to dogs without proper veterinary service. So I thought I had probable cause to charge that. I would not say that they committed a crime because they're innocent until proven guilty, and I could only say that I had enough to charge, but decided not to because we reached an agreement. But whether they're actually guilty or not is something I can't say. That would have been for a jury or a judge to decide later.
Can you briefly explain for our fans who don't know what that procedure is, and then also why you made the decision not to file the charges?
So the procedure is very, very oversimplified. Is a dog has a problem with the glands around their eyes. They become swollen, and they need to be removed. And Ridgeland Farms had been doing this procedure for decades, since the 60s, but they were doing it in kind of a crude manner by just removing the glands with a knife or scissors without any anesthesia and not really following surgical procedures. The standards have improved since the 60s, and they did not keep up with the times, and that's why the veterinary board decided to suspend the veterinarian's license. So that's basically what the procedure is and why I thought that there was a violation. In terms of why I made the agreement I did, the grant of authority I had only would allow me to charge them with a crime, but charging a corporation with a crime would only lead to perhaps a fine or maybe some type of probation where we could supervise them, but we already are. It wouldn't allow me to close the farm, to seize the dogs, to shut them down or punish the owners personally. So when the farm agreed to say, instead of being charged criminally, how about we just close down that part of our business, the breeding part? And I thought that was, in the long run, better because that's more than I could have done had I charged it. And it completed the goal, which was to end the business at Richland Farms, at least that part of the business. And so I think that satisfied our view and the activists' view. And while it didn't punish them for the past behavior, it did more than what I could have done had I charged it.
So, Tim, just to double back, you said that you did not visit the farm. Could that have aided in your reporting and understanding of what was happening there and the conditions inside?
I don't know because I wasn't viewing the farm as it is today. I was relying on incidents that happened in the past. So I relied on the investigators from DADCAP and the investigators from the USDA, the witnesses that observed the incidents. So I was not prosecuting the business for how they're running their business today. I was prosecuting for things that happened months and years ago to certain dogs. So it'd be kind of like if a theft happened at a business and they changed their security system, going to it a year later, it's not the same as what was going on then. So I was relying on paperwork and documents and investigators that viewed the incidents, documented the incidents, and I had enough to charge based on that.
Many people, and not just people here in southeastern Wisconsin, not just people across the entire state of Wisconsin or the country, but I mean around the world. I can see it from covering the story. I mean, people are writing on my Facebook page right now from different parts of the world about this story because they are so upset in some cases. Many people understandably upset over treatment of animals anywhere. There are a lot of animal lovers. But you say, I went through your special report, you say that the reality is that Ridgeland Farms' business model was not unusual. So for all those people who are still upset, what do you suggest that they do?
Well, I am aware of people from around the world have contacted me as well, and I know that they've contacted other state agencies as well. One thing I would say is try to do a little bit of research and don't believe everything you read on the internet. Some of the things that were alleged just weren't true. I mean, they just didn't happen, and there's no other way to say that. So people are getting upset about some things that just didn't happen. And I think they're jumping to the emotion of hearing a dog being mistreated without understanding what the facts are and what actually happened and what the truth is. So first, I would say just don't believe everything you read on the internet. Secondly, I would say it doesn't do a lot of good to flood Dane County services with emails and calls because that just slows them down in what they're actually trying to do. And lastly, I would say you can be an advocate and you can protest things, but try to do a little bit of research and thought into trying to figure out exactly what is going on and what does the law say. And we may not like animals being tested on, but it is legal. So unless the laws change, you can't just take the law into your own hands and decide, I don't like something, so I'm going to stop it. It is legal to test on animals right now in this country, and as long as it's legal, business like this can exist.
Part of me hates to even bring these up, but I am seeing people post them on social media as though they're true, and you just said the same. Don't believe everything you read. I'm seeing so many people post things that are not accurate. Because you investigated, can you tell our fans the allegations against the facility that you found there was no basis to charge?
Sure. One was something called devocalization, where animals were having their vocal cords cut. The allegation happened back in 2010, so that was so long ago I didn't spend a lot of time looking into it. The business disputed that, so I didn't really look too deep into that. The proper shelter and space requirements, animals kept on farms are not all kept in what we would keep our pets in. Pigs, cows, chickens. I mean, you can go to any farm and say, I'm not really sure I would want to live like that, but when farms have hundreds or thousands of animals. That's how they're kept. And by the USDA standards, the beagles that were kept at Ridgeland Farms had enough space requirements. They were socialized. They were given enough food and water. So there just wasn't any truth to the fact that they were being caged and not let out. The sanitation standards and ventilation standards also, there were some violations noted in the past couple of years, but they were fixed right away. And for decades, the USDA and DADCAP had visited this farm and found no violations. And as I said before, any business that's visited by OSHA or DADCAP or USDA, there might be a violation here or there when you get your report, but you fix it, you remedy it, and you go on. Those are not usually treated as criminal matters. And then there were some notes that some beagles had some injuries to their feet, but they were remedied, they were being treated, they were being kept separate from other beagles. And again, having grown up around farms myself, any farm with hundreds of animals is going to have some animals that have an injury, a sickness, a disease, and they're being treated. So if the structure were causing the injuries, you'd expect to see hundreds, if not thousands, of problems, not just a couple. So those were some of the things that when I actually looked into it, the allegations sound bad, but when you look at all the documentation and all of the records from the inspectors, you just find that it just wasn't being run in a way that these animals were being tortured or withheld food and water. The GRA procedure was the only one that I found they were not following the current veterinary standards. And they decided they were going to change that practice, and they're still being monitored by the veterinary board. But other than that, I had reports that they were euthanizing all their beagles, and that turned out not to be true. There were reports that they were torturing the beagles with electricity and other torture devices, and that was found not to be true. So a lot of the things that people are seeing online are just that. Things people are posting online that don't have any firsthand knowledge, and it's not coming from any reliable source.
Tim, we've heard from both sides throughout the course of the week here, including from Wayne Zhang, who helped organize the break-in at Ridgeland Farms over the weekend. I had brought up the fact that Ridgeland Farms had not been convicted or found guilty of any of these charges in a court. I asked him why after he painted a picture of what he described as in a cruelty to animals situation inside the walls of the facility. I asked him why they haven't been criminally, not charged, but found guilty. And he said collusion. That was his answer, collusion. How do you respond to that?
I don't think Wayne is credible. And the fact that he organized this break-in, announced it ahead of time, and videotaped it, I think just tells you he's out for self-promotion. And I just don't find him credible.
That is the La Crosse County District Attorney, Tim Granke. Tim, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tim.
Sure.
We're coming up on 1227. This is Wisconsin's Midday News, local news, and national headlines up next.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, "I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house." Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. You should see what our new floors look like. And you can. But let's talk about you first. Whether you want to tighten things up before selling your house or you want to be more comfortable in your forever home, start at Hunt's Flooring. Our new hardwood floors are in. We could not be happier that we chose local, family-owned Hunt's Flooring. Text FLOOR to 855-616-1620 and I'll send you the before and after pics. Hunt's is ready for your project right now. Tell them Vinny sent you. Highway 100 in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, March 20th. Your top story, avoiding jail time after locking her kids in a storage locker.
I'm Jessica Ty. Tulsa's new fire chief makes history.
Clouds rolling in today. High 52 degrees, maybe a little cooler near the lake. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 34. 57 near the lake on Saturday, 65 inland, plenty of sun.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. The war with Iran is now nearly a month old, and Iran has been targeting oil facilities around the Middle East in addition to keeping its blockade around the Strait of Hormuz. And now, Iran targets Jerusalem's Old City. ABC's Tom Soufi-Burridge is on the scene.
This happened just before the beginning of Shabbat, so it clearly could have been way worse. We think there aren't any fatalities in this impact, and it's likely that this was shrapnel coming down from an interception or potentially a munition from one of those cluster missiles, which we've seen Iran firing repeatedly at Israel over the last few days.
The price of oil and gas has already skyrocketed, with the average price for a gallon of gas now up to $3.91 a gallon. That's a little less than $1 more than this time last month. Sick calls among TSA staff at airports across the country continue to rise, leading to long security lines. It's all because of the partial government shutdown. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. The mother of 6 children found locked in a Milwaukee storage unit avoids jail time. Asia Zielinski will serve 18 months probation after pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of child neglect. Milwaukee County Judge Anna Barrios
Are to look for a silver lining has brought resources that the attorneys are recommending to Ms. Zielinski so that she can be the mother that these children need her to be.
Zielinski and her partner Charles Dupriest were found sleeping in their vehicle in the storage unit parking lot last year. A jury found Dupriest guilty on all 8 counts of child neglect. He'll be sentenced next month.
Another local community is considering name changes in response to sexual abuse allegations against Cesar Chavez.
In Racine, Mayor Corey Mason is suggesting a new name for the Cesar Chavez Community Center. His proposal would call it the Dolores Huerta Community Center after the labor activist who co-founded the United Farm Workers Union alongside Chavez. This comes as Milwaukee leaders are discussing whether to rename South Cesar Chavez Drive. The city of Milwaukee and the Marcus Performing Arts Center have both canceled their plans for Cesar Chavez Day celebrations. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Well, the new fire chief for Wauwatosa makes history. Barbara Kadrich becomes the first woman to lead the Wauwatosa Fire Department. City officials saying she will be the chief until they merge with West Allis Fire Department early next year to make the Milwaukee Metro Fire Department. Communications manager Eva Enamoroto.
We will be doing a national search for the fire chief of Milwaukee Metro Fire Rescue. So details coming probably summer. That will be a national search, to which she's welcome to apply.
They hope to have the fire chief for the merged department hired by this fall.
After a brief weather delay, drivers on I-94 can expect a major traffic shift heading into the weekend.
Eric Hansen of the DOT says this week's snow pushed things back slightly, but the project is still on track.
We did have to push it by a day or two just because of that large snowstorm that we had at the beginning of the week.
Crews are now moving forward with reopening lanes on eastbound 94.
So come Friday morning, March 20th, we will have 94 eastbound back open to 3 lanes between 70th Street and Zablocki Drive there, and that is scheduled to remain open through late summer.
And that setup should stay in place through most of the construction season. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Let the dance continue. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 12:34.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Stormfisher with Stormfisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Well, for the third time, it is going to be Thanasis Live, the podcast featuring Giannis's brother, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, March 27th at the Riverside. One of the biggest nights in Wisconsin sports, featuring a number of incredible guests. I was talking to the executive producer today. He said, expect the unexpected. And just maybe the big fella, Giannis, will show up. We'll see. Have you been there when other celebrities have shown up for Thanasis Live? You never know what's going to happen. A night full of surprises. You could be there with a buy one, get one free ticket offer. It's March 27th at the Riverside. It's going to be an unbelievable and unpredictable night. Always a lot of fun when Thanasis takes place. Thanasis Antetokounmpo is Thanasis Live. Visit taliveshow.com. You can get tickets through the website taliveshow.com. Enter the code ESPNWI BOGO. That's ESPNWI BOGO. Do that when you check out. You'll get a buy one, get one offer for you. Tickets to the show, March 27th at the Riverside.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal. It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. You've heard me talk about the wonderful new retractable awning the team at Comfort Awnings installed at my home. Spring is quickly approaching, and it's the perfect time for you to get an awning installed so it's ready once the temps warm up. Comfort Awnings is a local, family-owned company in Burlington that provides expert installation in southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Receive a free motor with the purchase of any retractable awning or screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. It's another Cactus League night game for the Brewers, taking on the Diamondbacks this evening. Brewers second baseman Bryce Terang back with the team after being named to the first team All-World Baseball Classic team.
I would rather not be on that list and win the gold because I want to win so bad. It's cool. It's really cool. I had a good time, and, I couldn't be in that position without my teammates. Those guys were so great to me. They made me feel comfortable.
Brewers begin the regular season Thursday of next week against the White Sox. 16 games on the NCAA tournament schedule today. 3 games in action, 1 at the half. Kentucky leads Santa Clara 46-44. They are in the second half. Akron trails Texas Tech 40-35 at the half. And Arizona with a quick 6-0 start over 16th-seeded Long Island. And in Madison today, semifinal games in Divisions 1, 2, and 5 as part of the State Boys Basketball Tournament.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a new crash since I talked to you last about traffic. 4194 North. About a mile and a half beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 11, the left shoulder is blocked because of that crash. Also, as we get closer to the airport, Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, 4194 North, a little bit beyond Rawson Avenue. There was a crash out there earlier this morning, and the semi that was involved is still off to the side of the road. So heads up there. We also have a disabled vehicle in a busy part. 4145 South, very close to the ramp from Capitol Drive. Very busy spot. The right shoulder is blocked because of a car that's broken down.
Overall, pretty nice day today. Some clouds, but comfortable temperatures in the mid-50s, a little cooler near the lake. Mostly cloudy tonight and a low of 34. Saturday looks like a winter. Mostly sunny, high 65 inland, 57 near the water. Sunday's high 48 with a chance of rain. It's 47 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:39. Well, authorities in Barcelona have confirmed the discovery of 20-year-old University of Alabama student James Gracie's body. He was visiting friends on spring break, then he went missing early Tuesday morning. Security footage last showed Gracie leaving a local nightclub about 3 a.m. with an unknown individual after spending the evening with his fraternity brothers. They ultimately got separated. Gracie's wallet recovered from the sea, as was his body hours later. Rich Frankel is a former special agent in charge for the FBI in New York and joins us on the line. Hi, Rich.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, thanks for joining us here. The investigation continues into Gracie's death. Spanish authorities have ruled out foul play. What do you believe could have led authorities to make that determination so early in the process?
Well, to be quite honest, I'm a little surprised by that, that they're classifying it as accidental. Because, when you have a body in the water, you have not been able to do an autopsy on it yet. You don't have all the forensics back. There's still a lot of questions that need to be answered. From what I read is that while they've called it accidental, they still are investigating, which is a good sign. But you need to really track down everything that happened that night, who he was with, when he left them, which they apparently have. But then where did he go and what was he doing, along the waterside? How did he enter the water? And then, of course, the drowning itself. From what I understand, they also found a phone on an individual who he might have left with. How did that person get the phone? So a lot of questions still need to be answered.
When something like this happens overseas, how different is the investigation compared to here in the U.S., and where do things tend to break down?
Well, they in Spain, I will say that they can be at least comparable to what we have in the United States. But that's the problem with going overseas, is that you don't know. You could end up in an area where, tourists are targeted by police or by the locals, and they don't get the same benefit of investigation as you do here in the United States. Again, in Spain, it looks like they've done a pretty good job, at least of looking for, finding, the body, and proceeding with the investigation. But we don't know what they do with the autopsy. We don't know if they do an autopsy. We don't know how far down the investigation goes, and that is the problem when you go overseas, that you don't have that same degree of certainty as far as an investigation. It also really does depend on the embassy. It appears that the embassy has done a pretty good job on this case, whether it was Department of State Security, the legal attaché, which is FBI, or the ambassador. They seem to do have a good relationship with the locals. So there is some investigation going, but again, I'm a little perplexed by the determination that it's an accident when they still have not done the full investigation.
So, Rich, Gracie was last seen leaving this nightclub about 3 a.m., and then, a couple of days later, his body is found in the water. How do FBI investigators or even local authorities account for the gap? There's a gap in time there where there is no CCTV, there is no surveillance footage, and all of a sudden this body is found in the water. How do you piece things together when there is no surveillance?
Yeah, you're going to have to start with interviewing everyone in that area, anyone who was at the nightclub that might have been outside when they saw him leave, anyone who could have been outside just, for any other reason. And then also you're going to look at his phone. From what I gathered, they were able to locate the phone on somebody that they arrested, possibly for something unrelated to this matter, but they were able to find the phone. So you're going to want to start going through the phone and seeing if there was anything that happened in that time period. And then you're also going to want to ping that phone. In other words, you're going to want to see where that phone went. Did it go down to the waterfront? Did it go somewhere else and then down to the water? There's a whole bunch of information that you can get from that. And that's where the FBI legal attaché will work with the local authorities. That's that's why we actually have legal attachés in over 100 countries, is so that if an American is a victim of a crime, that we may be able to assist in the investigation and bring some of the resources of the FBI to help if they need it. Again, Spain seems to be they have a very good police department, but it doesn't hurt to have FBI there assisting as needed.
We always hear stay with your friends. In fact, Greg and I said it on the air to all of our fans yesterday. You hear it time and time again. In real investigations, how and why does the buddy system fail?
You know what? Guys are out there, guys, girls, are out there. They're having drinks, they're having fun, they're meeting people, and you just start to break off, at times. And I advise, kids going there, for spring break, but also adults. When you're overseas, and you should always be with somebody, you should always be aware of what you're drinking. Back, when I was growing up, they called it a roofie. There could be something dropped in your drink that you're not aware of, and you're just thinking you're drinking, your gin and tonic, and there's something else in there. And then you also stay with your friends, because if anything does happen where all of a sudden you start to black out, or something's coming over you, at least your friends are there to look out for you and to get you to someplace safe. Listen, I would give the same advice to somebody going to a bar in Manhattan. So it's not, I'm not knocking Spain, but when you're overseas, it's even more of a problem, because you don't have that extra support system that you might have here in the United States.
Does that complicate matters? You talk about an investigation here with local authorities. Do Spanish authorities work with the FBI here in the United States in such a situation like this?
Yeah, well, again, we have the attaché over there, so the attaché will be basically like a liaison, working with the Spanish authorities over there. Usually they have a very good relationship with local law enforcement, and anything that the Spaniards need for the investigation from the U.S., the FBI agent over there, the legal attaché, will reach back to FBI here in the United States and get that information, get any assistance that they could use. And then the same goes forward. If the FBI is asking for anything, they would go to their Spanish authorities over there and ask them to assist. And that's what may have happened on this occasion when the victim went missing. The family were the ones that called over to the, I believe, to the embassy, to the State Department, may have gotten to the FBI, to Department of State Security, and told them about this. And because of, I think, that engagement, the Spanish authorities then did go out looking for the victim. And again, it appears that they did do a good job in the search. I mean, listen, they found the body. Yeah. After a couple of days, at least they stayed with it and were able to find him.
Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge of the FBI in New York, joining us here in Wisconsin's Midday News. Rich, great insight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All ready for a little spring, and Fleet Farm's ready to get you prepped with great buys, like our patriotic folding chair for $14.99. Superior crabgrass preventer with lawn fertilizer is on sale for $16.99 a bag. Bounty Essentials double roll paper towel 6-packs are $7.97. And get 50 rounds of CCI Blazer Brass 9mm handgun ammo for $10.99. Prep for less at Fleet Farm. And check out even more springtime deals at fleetfarm.com.
You spend more than 2,500 years on your mattress. So let me ask, is yours actually working for you? Hey everybody, it's Jessica Ty. During Steinhoffel's Mattress Madness, it's a perfect time to upgrade your sleep game. Their sleep experts will match you with the right mattress so you wake up feeling rested and ready for the day. Shop all the best brands at unbeatable prices. Plus, get free delivery and a 120-night sleep guarantee. You really can't make a mistake. Shop Mattress Madness today, in-store or online at steinhoffels.com.
We know that the people of Milwaukee are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Active Liver from New Nordic protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
Well, temperatures topping out in the mid-50s inland. A little cooler near the lake today. Overall, pretty nice day. Partly cloudy skies. Overnight low in the 30s. Tomorrow looks like a winter. Best day of the weekend with a high reaching 60 degrees or so inland. A little cooler near the lake again. Chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 48. It's 47 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:51. A blizzard right before spring, controversial road names, and an early exit for the Badgers. All that and more. Part of the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living in Lim.
What we do here is go.
This major winter storm still hammering Wisconsin. Some areas to the north seeing over 2 feet of snow. Blizzard conditions continuing through the day.
Do they got the donuts out and everything? Is it just a normal day at the Quick Trip?
Oh, yeah. They're working normally in there. Now, tell me about your experience on the roads this morning. Absolutely crap.
So I back out of our garage and I get stuck literally on our driveway.
Dozens of animal rights activists stormed Ridgeland Farms on Sunday in what they call an open rescue. The group forced their way into buildings, caused damage, and left with 23 beagles.
If you look at the photographs, they do not look like animals who have been subject to any mistreatment.
Are you a criminal?
These are sentient, loving beagles that have a right to have the same sort of life and love as every other puppy.
And a fly ball to center. It is back, way back. Grand slam, Brandon Lockridge. Me oh my.
Wow.
This is the greatest honor. I can't even believe it. Gurv Mila Mila Mahagut Sloan.
Jessie Buckley winning the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in Hamnet.
It was going to be a horse race, and boy, did it live up to the billing.
He is in studio on Wisconsin's Morning News. Olympic champion Jordan Stoltz is in the house.
So what was the first thing you did when you got home? Was there like one thing that you needed to do or had to do or not?
Oh, I went to bed right away.
So as of right now, the percentage of people who say that Trump devotion syndrome is more irrational than Trump derangement syndrome is 84%.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's the sound of Irish musician and longtime Celtic MKE staffer Christina Paris.
The Washington County Executive Committee will consider naming a portion of County Road K Charlie Kirk Way.
2 separate resolutions will be considered by the committee, one authorizing the name change, the other allocating $50,000 from the county's general fund for road name overlays, allocating $50,000.
Washington County, what the hell are you thinking here?
So they want you to bring macaroni on your flight so you can donate that to the cause for the security people who are working for free to prevent a bomb from getting on the plane. I love how we've normalized
It's the absurdity of the situation.
We have normalized that.
We already paid for the work that they're doing.
Yes.
They're just not getting it.
College basketball launches into its best time of the year. He is known in some circles as Bracket Jim.
Yes, thousands, millions of people are going to be watching these games as opposed to doing their jobs.
The city of Milwaukee and other cities and counties across the country are now trying to figure out what to do with Cesar Chavez after disturbing abuse allegations have come out now about the civil rights icon.
What was the most important thing you said in your 45-minute address this morning?
It was great to be able to highlight that ever since I've been county executive, we've ended every year with a surplus.
That is a message that should be shouted.
Wisconsin Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu will not seek re-election this fall,
saying it was, quote, time for a new chapter in my life.
How's your bracket doing?
I'm not well.
Not so good. That wasn't good either.
Jazz, how's your bracket doing?
What bracket?
I went to Washington, D.C. for the Parkinson's Policy Forum. You have to get into the head of a politician and their staff. What they're going for, will it benefit them or not? If you feel like you want to do something like this, it is very possible.
Milwaukee Film Festival has chosen Uke to be the opening night film, so that's
congratulations.
An amazing honor.
Before the first game, he grabbed a tuba and he started shagging fly balls with the tuba.
I love that photo. It seems very Bob.
Chuck Norris has died, 86 years old. I didn't think Chuck Norris could die.
I was going to say, isn't death afraid of Chuck Norris?
Right. And we say that with love and with affection, of course.
Right. What a week, eh?
What a week, San Franken.
I should have stayed at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Oh, the Week in Review, always well put together. If you missed it or want to hear it again, text the word week to the talk and text line 855-616-1620. Week in Review, sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. News coming up.
Shag Carpet, Avocado Appliances, No Frills Backyards. A lot has changed. For 100 years, the Realtors Home and Garden Show, presented by Unilock, has showcased what's next, helping homeowners and gardeners rethink the way they live, indoors and out. This year's 100th annual show is packed with ideas for today, from smart homes to outdoor living spaces. Join us March 20th through 29th at State Fair Park. Buy tickets at mkehgs.com.
Hey, our master closet is looking great thanks to Inspired Closets. Greg Matzik here. Let me tell you what they did. They took a problem and made it better, quite simply. They reduced the clutter, and they've reduced my stress level. When we used to walk into our master closet, clothes were kind of all over the place, builder-grade racking, didn't really look good, had a big clunky dresser in there. I just a confined space with clothes all over, laundry on display, shoes everywhere. It was a mess, and I do not lead a cluttered lifestyle. It became a source of stress for me. Inspired Closets Milwaukee came out and built a solution. They designed a solution. They put it to CAD. We got to walk through the solution by putting on some virtual goggles. That was really cool. Took the family out to their showroom out in the Brookfield Waukesha area. Got to walk through the space before installation. Gave me a great sense for where things were spaced out, how it would look. A really unique offering with Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Check out their showroom. Wonderful people. It's a wife and husband team, Katie and Dan at Inspired Closets Milwaukee. For us, it was a master closet. For you, it could be a pantry makeover, maybe a laundry room makeover, mud room. Ask what they can do in your garage, linen closet, you name it. If it could use organizing and a reduction of clutter, right there for you is Inspired Closets. Check out inspiredclosetsmilwaukee.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
Kristen, did you know that only 40% of Americans have done any estate planning and only 40% of those have been properly updated?
When it comes to wills, trusts, and probate, there's a lot at stake. I needed someone who specializes in estate planning. At Walney Legal Group, that's all they do.
No intimidating lawyers. They just provide customized, friendly, easy experience. They call it lawyering the way it should be. So whether you need your estate planning reviewed
or just getting started, visit WALNYlegal.com.
It's springtime, and instead of getting outside and having fun, you have to paint the deck, repair the boards, and discover more rotten wood on your deck. Call Outdoor Living Unlimited to replace the old beaten-down wood deck with a beautiful new composite deck with new railing. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
I'm Libby Collins. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we talk with Dr. Sarah Winnia Smith from the Medical College of Wisconsin Orchestra.
Some of our medical colleagues have gotten up and left abruptly in the middle of rehearsal. I don't usually end up knowing what exactly happened, but, you know, when somebody leaves with a sense of that urgency, you figure they've been called back to the clinic.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Business owners and right-hand men and women, when you make the catering call for your office gathering, make it Marty's Pizza. For pizza, pasta, subs, wings, appetizers, and more. Delivered in our heated oven delivery trucks. Our catering delivery range has expanded all the way east into Brookfield. Just log on to martyspizza.net for easy online ordering. Or give us a call at 262-646-3327. 262-646-3327.
Remember Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Mancek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, March 20th. Your top story, caught with guns and drugs at a Girl Scout camp.
I'm Jessica Ty. More chaos could be coming to the nation's airports.
Clouds starting to roll in a little bit here, but still pops of sun throughout the day. High 55 degrees, a little cooler near the lake. Mostly cloudy tonight and a low of 34. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a man living at Girl Scout camp faces felony charges after police found guns and drugs in his home.
48-year-old Paul David is accused of growing marijuana and having magic mushrooms and multiple weapons at his home located at the Camp Silverbrook Girl Scout camp in West Bend. According to the criminal complaint, investigators searched David's home on March 15th after receiving a call related to a domestic-related charge. Investigators say David is a convicted felon, and the guns and drugs were in easy reach of the 2 children who lived in the home. Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast say David's wife was an employee and is on administrative leave during the investigation. They also say no girls were involved or harmed. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
A Cesar Chavez statue in Milwaukee has been removed.
On the plaza outside El Rey Family Market on the city's south side, plaques honoring the legacy of Chavez were removed from the store's entrance. El Rey co-founder Ernesto Villarreal says they want to recognize immigrants and plan to replace the statue with one of a migrant family. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
There's a new warning about the potential for real chaos at the nation's airports if the partial government shutdown continues. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza is at Newark Liberty International.
DHS data showing agents on Wednesday called out 5 times as much as a typical day. Nearly 40% of workers in Atlanta and Houston, 25% at JFK here in New York. While the call-outs and a spring break surge pushing TSA lines out the door, it is leaving some travelers at wit's end, waiting for hours to try to get through security.
Director of Public Affairs at Milwaukee Mitchell International, Harold Mester, says Milwaukee is not seeing a major impact, but tells WTMJ that travelers should still plan to arrive a couple of hours early. TSA agents have been working without pay since middle February.
An Ivy League institution is facing another legal battle brought on by the Trump administration. ABC News' Alex Malin.
The Justice Department has filed another lawsuit against Harvard University, this time accusing the Ivy League institution of systematically violating the civil rights of Jewish and Israeli students by failing to crack down on anti-Semitism. The lawsuit from DOJ's Civil Rights Division seeks an independent monitor, and it's just the latest in a series of efforts by the Trump administration to target major Ivy League schools and other elite education institutions. Alex Malin, ABC News, Washington.
Well, exciting news. The first peregrine falcon egg of the season has been laid at the We Energies nest box at the Oak Creek Power Plant. This is the second year for the peregrine falcon parents, Essity and Joel. They've had chicks together. We Energies expects more eggs to be laid in the next few days, with chicks hatching in just over a month. That's Essity and Joel, the other falcons.
The parents.
Since the falcon boxes were installed at power plants across southeastern Wisconsin in the 90s, over 460 peregrine falcons have hatched. This is the fastest animal alive. It can reach speeds up to 242 miles an hour.
The egg is beautiful. The color of it, just looking at it, it almost looks like you had, and it reminds me of the color. It's like a rust color. It reminds me of if you were dipping eggs and you had kind of like an old one that you put into the vinegar, an old red, and so it changed a little bit, looked a little rusty.
Burnt sienna.
But it's like, it's speckled. It's really beautiful.
Well, now you can see it. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:05. Let's get you caught up to date with a market update from our friends at Annex Wealth Management. Dow is off 277 points at 45,744. NASDAQ on the chin today, down about 350 points at 21,739. And the S&P down about 70 at 6534. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Redo Cabinets, serving Wisconsin homeowners for more than 70 years now. And they use custom materials made right here in the USA. Redo Cabinets knows the kitchen is the heart of the home, and you can get your cabinets refaced for a fraction of the cost of a full kitchen remodel. Get out of here. Redo Cabinets takes care of all the headaches. They can bring your dream kitchen to life without the mess, all the stress, and the high cost of a complete renovation. Their cabinet refacing allows you to customize your space with beautiful colors and finishes. You can add details like decorative crown molding that's gorgeous, and even get a brand new kitchen island if you want. Right now, for a limited time, you can get free premium countertops with every refacing project. Head to redocabinets.com, book your free, no obligation consultation right now. They'll go to your home for about 90 minutes, talk to you about what you want, and make your dreams come to life. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets. Head to redocabinets.com. redocabinets.com.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of New Life to show you.
New Life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it Crosses and Clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270.
This cross?
$90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers are expected to name an opening day starter later today. They've got a night game tonight, so the usual media rhythms are delayed a little bit this afternoon. Meanwhile, Brewers starter Brandon Woodruff continues to make progress building stamina in his throwing shoulder.
I know some of the velocity numbers are not they're not 96, 97, but just the way I feel physically is last year's it's not even fair to compare to this year.
Woodruff tossed 3 innings in the Brewers' win over the Rangers on Thursday night. Meanwhile, the NCAA tournament continues today. 16 games on the schedule. A good one right now with Santa Clara, the number 10 seed, leading Kentucky 68-67 with just over 2 minutes to go. The Badgers, one of a few upsets in day one of the program. They lost to High Point 83-82. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. Some good news here. The crash that we had on 4194 North, just a little bit beyond Rawson Avenue. Semi was involved in that one. The semi's been off to the side of the road on the right-hand shoulder for quite a while. That is finally gone, so we're looking good there. That has cleared. 4194 North near Rawson is clear, but just a little bit north of that, we now have a new incident. 4194 South, about a mile beyond Layton Avenue, the right shoulder is blocked because of a disabled vehicle. A disabled vehicle there, and I do see that some emergency responders have pulled up to that one. It's actually a semi in this case, off to the side of the road there, but I also see another vehicle and then one emergency responder with the lights on, so we'll keep an eye on that one for you. We do have our typical delays on 94 westbound around the ballpark. That's due to construction. Other than that, we're looking good for the most part. Disabled vehicle on the exit to Wisconsin 32 North, Grafton Avenue from I-43 North, but that one doesn't look like it's causing any problems.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Well, nice day today. Clouds roll in later on, maybe around dinner time, but beautiful conditions right now. 56 degrees in Milwaukee. Turning cooler lakeside tonight with a low of 34. Saturday, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-60s, a little cooler near the lake. Chance of rain on Sunday and a high of 48. 56 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 110.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
I feel like I shortchanged some degrees early on because I didn't hit the refresh button. My browser didn't refresh.
Button.
So, yeah, I was stuck at like 46 degrees. Now it's 56. Beautiful day right now. Sun is shining. Tomorrow's supposed to be a winter as well.
Just lovely. This is the kind of weather that makes you feel like we're going to go full steam ahead towards a real spring.
Hopeful for opening day, which is on the horizon. We'll try and dial in that forecast with Niz coming up in about 25 minutes.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1. A new development in the big story this week that has people divided on whether activists stole or rescued dogs in Dane County. A civil rights attorney is now demanding Wisconsin officials take custody of the 8 beagles that were seized by police and returned to Ridgeland Farms. The letter argues those dogs could face abuse or euthanasia if they stay there. This comes after dozens of activists removed more than 20 dogs from the facility on Sunday. Ridgeland Farms breeds beagles for biomedical research. It's been in business in Dane County for 60 years. Their attorney says the dogs are well taken care of and subject to very strict standards under the law.
Well, number 2, ABC is pulling the new season of The Bachelorette, which was supposed to air on Sunday. Taylor Frankie Paul. She was supposed to be the main character and object of affection. She was on the Hulu show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Well, she's facing domestic violence charges. Paul had pled guilty after a 2023 incident, and there's now video, and it's been obtained by TMZ. It shows her fighting with her then-boyfriend, Dakota Mortensen, and even throwing bar stools at him while her child was sitting on the couch.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Disney Entertainment Television, ABC's parent company, saying that, quote, in light of the newly released video just surfaced today, we have made the decision not to move forward with the new season of The Bachelorette at this time, and our focus is on supporting the family. Paul was arrested after that fight, eventually pleading guilty to aggravated assault.
Well, all right, so what did they think was going to happen here, right? She pled guilty to aggravated assault. This video goes back a few years. She's been on reality television before in The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Didn't they think something like this could happen? Right? And now they got to scrap plans, go back to the drawing board. She doesn't really fit the profile of previous bachelorettes, if I'm understanding the history of this program. It just seemed like an odd choice from the start, to be honest.
I have not watched the program in years, but I will say, and I don't watch the Mormon Wives either, but I know enough of it because they're very popular shows, right? And you see it on social media. And I will say, from what I know from a long, long time ago, watching The Bachelorette, and what I know of the Mormon Wives, it did not seem on brand for them to pick her. And I think there are some big questions as to who decided this was going to be a good idea, and it turned out it was an utter failure.
Well, and now you got to scrap plans. I'm trying to think of, the marketing angle, or this was all by design. No, I don't think this was. I mean, that's a colossal loss for ABC. Whether you like the program or not, you can't argue its popularity and the run that it's had.
Number 3, an important story here. A U.S. stealth fighter jet damaged over Iran. CBS's Charlie DeGanta has the details.
The F-35 stealth fighter is considered to be the most advanced fighter jet in the world. If it was struck by enemy fire, it would be the first since the war began. On the same day, President Trump said Iran no longer has that capability.
Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft equipment is gone. We're flying wherever we want, Pete. We have nobody even shooting at us.
While on the subject of American ground forces.
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
The pilot is in stable condition.
1:15 on WTMJ. Wisconsin's Midday News continues after this.
He's a husband, a dad, owner of a gym. He's also a police officer. Staying strong and pain-free isn't optional. It's safety. That's why David Boardman's a QC Kinetics patient.
My job is dependent on my physical ability and my physical fitness so that I can protect myself, so that I can go home safe to my family at the end of the night.
But severe knee pain nearly took that away. Doctors said surgery, shut down the workouts. David needed another option. That was QC Kinetics. They told him,
we're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
They used David's own healing tools in his blood to help restore his knees. Regenerative treatments right in the office.
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week.
Trust the team helping active people avoid surgery. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Hey, no better place to be than the Potawatomi Sportsbook this time of year. In fact, I was there yesterday, and what a great crowd here for the opening rounds of college basketball's craziness. I'm sure it's a great crowd again today, and why not? Buzzer beaters, all the games, right? You want to be there. You want to be where the action is. That's Potawatomi Sportsbook. Check out that 2,000-square-foot video wall. Grab some great food, some drinks. There's even a VIP deck if you're looking for a more comfortable or intimate gathering for your team or your company or just some friends. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook inside the beautifully redesigned Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Some pops of sun today, highs in the mid-50s. Very comfortable day, overnight low around 34 degrees. Tomorrow, mid-60s for your high, a little cooler near the lake. Rain back in the forecast on Sunday with a high of 48. It's 56 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 118. Well, there have been several high-profile closed-door depositions in the case against Jeffrey Epstein. Think about the Clintons, Bill and Hillary grabbing headlines a couple of weeks ago. A deposition on Thursday could be considered the most significant to date, however, in the case that will seemingly not go away. ABC's investigative reporter Peter Haralambous is covering the proceedings. Hi, Peter.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining us here. A little insight from you. Who is Darren Indyke, and why was he called in?
Yeah, so certainly not a household name, but arguably one of the most important depositions that the House Oversight Committee has done to date. He was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer for more than 2 decades, someone who was by his side as he navigated legal scrutiny, someone who, according to lawsuits, withdrew hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash for him, and according to at least one lawsuit, allegedly arranged at least 3 sham marriages to keep Epstein's victims in the United States. This is someone who arguably knows Jeffrey Epstein more than really anyone else on this earth, with perhaps the exception of Ghislaine Maxwell. So really a vital deposition, even though it's not that much of a household name.
So how believable is his claim of no knowledge whatsoever based on the evidence presented so far?
Yeah, I mean, lawmakers have certainly responded to that with a lot of skepticism. He's saying that, he was by his side with Epstein for years, but he had no knowledge of these crimes. But, there are some things we know for sure. For example, we know that he was very involved in Jeffrey Epstein's 2008 plea deal that, in Florida, the first time he really ran into the law and faced consequences. He was someone who vouched for Epstein, really helped him get a work release program that allowed him to leave the prison for 16 hours a day, up to 6 days a week. He's someone who visited Epstein in prison, one of the most frequent visitors he had while he was in Palm Beach, and someone who was really, according to these files released by the Epstein file, released by the Department of Justice, deeply involved in his finances, in this kind of web of shell companies and bank accounts that comprised his empire. So, lawmakers are skeptical, and really, he does seem like someone who does have direct knowledge of a lot of this stuff, unlike, for example, Leslie Wexner or Bill or Hillary Clinton, who have been able to claim a bit more of their lack of knowledge.
Well, and those were associations, right? You just say friends, maybe a flight on a private jet, right? Bill and Hillary Clinton, they were, kind of dismantled for their depositions. This is a little different. You're talking about a guy who was a co-executor of the estate and was deeply understanding of Epstein's finances. Along with that, Peter, is there any sort of paper trail, some sort of cyber trail, hard drives, things along that line?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point in terms of him being a co-executor. Literally, Jeffrey Epstein was the godparent of some of his children in terms of the closeness of this relationship. And he's set to inherit $500 million. He was one of the top beneficiaries of Epstein's estate, though it's not clear if he's actually going to get any money at this point based on how many victim lawsuits they've settled out. All of this to say, there are not only these deep associations, but there are all these documents in the Epstein files. He's arguably one of the people who shows up the most in the files themselves. So it will really be interesting to see how effective lawmakers were in terms of presenting evidence to him to kind of push back on some of the narratives he might have presented. In the past, with these depositions, we've seen plenty of instances where people have basically said, I know nothing about this, but when they're confronted with documents that kind of contradict that, they do have to kind of face that reality. So I think a lot of the success of this deposition, and we're expected to get a video of this at some point in the future, will depend on how effective they were in using that paper trail.
How significant are the allegations about these large cash withdrawals? What do investigators believe that money was used for? Because that whole idea about sham marriages to keep victims in the U.S., I think people are going to be like, what was that all about?
Yeah, that's a great point, because this cash thing is interesting, because at the end of the day, there isn't necessarily an allegation that this was a crime. Withdrawing cash from a bank account isn't illegal, and he claims he wasn't structuring these withdrawals. But it appears, based on multiple lawsuits, based on some of the documents in the Epstein files, he was withdrawing really the maximum he was allowed to withdraw from Epstein's account, about $7,500 really regularly. It seems like this adds up to more than $700,000 over the course of 4 years that he was giving to Epstein. And a lot of lawsuits have alleged that basically that cash was used by Epstein to kind of finance a lot of this sex trafficking operation, to give it to victims, to pay for expenses, etc. And certainly that huge volume of cash is a little suspicious. It's below the threshold that would trigger a report to the Treasury Department. If you withdraw more than $10,000, that would automatically trigger a suspicious activity report to the Treasury Department. But according to Indike, this was because Epstein couldn't get a credit card. His claim was that because Epstein's legal troubles, he was having trouble getting lines of credit, so he had to operate with a lot of cash. Lawmakers responding to that claim with a lot of skepticism, a pretty heavy grain of salt, given the fact that you're talking about nearly $1 million in cash for someone who is arguably operating one of the most notorious sex trafficking schemes in recent histories.
Peter, is that enough to damage his credibility?
At this point, it's unclear how he can be trusted, right? Because you're talking about someone who is so close with Epstein for so long. I think that kind of statement, this broad generalization that he knew absolutely nothing about these crimes, I think it's hard to square those with kind of looking at this deposition as fully a realistic, let's say, understanding of Epstein's life and crime. So we'll have to see. It's tricky. We're going to get this 8-hour deposition video at some point over the next week. It's going to be hard to see how much of that can be taken at its face value as opposed to how much should be taken with a huge amount of skepticism.
What else should we be looking for in the days ahead?
So here comes the more high-profile ones. We're back to those. Pam Bondi is the one that I think is most interesting. She's someone who tried to voluntarily go before the House Oversight Committee to kind of quell some of those concerns. It didn't appear to quell any concerns, at least of Democratic lawmakers. They seemed more frustrated by her lack of responses about the handling of this affair. So she, at some point, will have to face a subpoena. Beyond that, I think the deposition of Howard Lutnick, President Trump's Commerce Secretary, that's the deposition that's honestly closest to the current presidential administration. And Lutnick at this point has faced months of criticism about being friendly with Epstein, being his neighbor, visiting his island at least one time, and his past statements that appear to have been contradicted in part by the Epstein files.
Always great information from ABC's Peter Haralambous. We appreciate it, Peter. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
There's a difference between seeing the world and truly experiencing it. Whether you are witnessing the majestic glaciers of Alaska with Princess Cruises or savoring the refined classic service of Holland America Line, your 2026 voyage should be nothing short of seamless. At Fox World Travel, we handle every detail from the best staterooms to the perfect shore excursions. Don't just sail, arrive. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO to connect with one of our cruising experts today.
Hey, thanks, Rose. Stock up and save this weekend on Screamin' Sicilian Pizza made by Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. It's a pizza party going on right now through the 24th at Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. You can buy one, get one free. Screamin' Sicilian, original and thin and crispy pizzas. Delicious. Made by Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Stock up and save. It's a buy one, get one on Screamin' Sicilian through the 24th. Got a slice for every appetite. Screamin' Sicilian, that's my personal favorite. My wife likes the Primo Thin. My kids, well, they like pretty much any pizza. You will too when it's Palermo's. Wherever you like to shop, you will find it. Stock up and save with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. That snow early in the week was crazy, wasn't it? I know, it happens, but I just wasn't really ready for it. Well, we're going to get you ready for some stuff you can do inside right now because it's still kind of chilly, and some stuff you can plan for coming up this spring. It's Experience Wisconsin at 1 o'clock on Saturdays, this week joined by the Milwaukee Art Museum and KB Excursions. Going to be a fun show. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturday at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, March 20th. Your top story, considering a name change after allegations of abuse from a civil rights icon.
I'm Jessica Ty. More changes for your travels along I-94.
Nice day today. Temperatures right now in the mid-50s, a little cooler near the lake. Very comfortable, however. Wind is on the downside, mostly cloudy tonight at a low of 34. Sun returns on Saturday, 65.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dabuski. Medical personnel are treating injuries in Jerusalem after an Iranian missile today landed in the Old City neighborhood. Meanwhile, the U.S. continues to amass troops in the region.
2 U.S. officials tell ABC News 3 amphibious ships carrying 2,200 Marines left San Diego earlier this week. Formally, officials say the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit left on a previously scheduled deployment to the Indo-Pacific. But sources say their ultimate destination is likely to change. If they're given final orders to head to the Middle East, it could take weeks for the ships to get there, where they would join thousands of other Marines already headed to the region aboard other vessels.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy in Washington. The war in Iran is also putting pressure on oil prices, with the average price for a gallon of gas now topping $3.93 a gallon. It's $3.85 on average in Georgia, where the governor today signed a 60-day suspension of that state's gas tax. It had been a 33-cent tax. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Another local community is considering name changes in response to sexual abuse allegations against Cesar Chavez.
In Racine, Mayor Corey Mason is suggesting a new name for the Cesar Chavez Community Center. His proposal would call it the Dolores Huerta Community Center after the labor activist who co-founded the United Farm Workers Union alongside Chavez. This comes as Milwaukee leaders are discussing whether to rename South Cesar Chavez Drive. The city of Milwaukee and the Marcus Performing Arts Center have both canceled their plans for Cesar Chavez Day celebrations. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The new fire chief for Wauwatosa is making history. Barbara Kadrich is the first ever female to lead the Wauwatosa Fire Department. The city says she'll be the chief until they merge with the West Allis Fire Department early next year, creating the Milwaukee Metro Fire Department. Communications Manager Ava Enamarato.
We will be doing a national search for the fire chief of Milwaukee Metro Fire Rescue. So details coming probably summer. That will be a national search, to which she's welcome to apply.
Wauwatosa says they hope to have the fire chief for the merge department hired by fall.
No jail time for the mother of 6 children found locked in a Milwaukee storage unit. Asia Zielinski was sentenced to 18 months probation after pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of child neglect. Milwaukee County Judge Anna Barrios.
She didn't blame anyone else but herself, and she took complete accountability and did not make any of these children go through the trauma of having to testify on behalf of their own mother.
Children were found living in a store-safe unit on 27th Street last year. A jury convicted their father, Charles DePriest, on 8 counts of child neglect. He'll be sentenced next month.
An officer-involved shooting leaves a 41-year-old man dead in the village of Summit. It happened Thursday morning after a police chase started in Jefferson County for a driver with possible felony warrants. Waukesha County deputies then took over until the car stopped near Highway 67 north of Highway 18. Sheriff Eric Severson.
The vehicle became disabled in a farm field, and an armed male suspect then exited the vehicle and displayed a handgun.
Deputies then shot the man. He died right there at the scene. No deputies were hurt.
After a brief weather delay, drivers on I-94 can expect a major traffic shift heading into the weekend.
Eric Hansen of the DOT says this week's snow pushed things back slightly, but the project is still on track.
We did have to push it by a day or two just because of that large snowstorm that we had at the beginning of the week.
Crews are now moving forward with reopening lanes on eastbound 94.
So come Friday morning, March 20th, we will have 94 eastbound back open to 3 lanes between 70th Street and Zablocki Drive there, and that is scheduled to remain open through late summer.
And that setup should stay in place through most of the construction season. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
We are dancing. Man, some of these games going on right now, so good. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as 3rd generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling. 3 generations, 1 standard.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Acunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy flavorful and affordable Mexican lunch specials, always made fresh and served fast with a free cup of soup. Authentic taste, local favorite. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers expected to name an opening day starter later today. It's not going to be Brandon Woodruff. At least that's not likely. Woodruff continues to make progress building stamina in his throwing shoulder.
I know some of the velocity numbers are not like, they're not 96, 97, but just the way I feel physically is last year's not even it's not even fair to compare to this year.
Woodruff tossed 3 innings in the Brewers' win over the Rangers Thursday night. Another night game for the Brewers, taking on the Diamondbacks as Cactus League play winds down in Arizona. 16 games on the tournament schedule today in college basketball. A game that's just gone final, kind of a wild finish. Santa Clara falls to Kentucky 89-84 in overtime. Santa Clara had a 3-point lead after making a 3 with 2.5 seconds to go. Kentucky hit a half quarter to send the game to overtime. Lower seeds won 6 of the 16 games played on day 1.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a crash that I'm keeping tabs on here. 4194 north, about a mile and a half beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 11. Left shoulder is blocked because of it. I do see emergency responders at the scene right now. It also looks like, let me pull this camera up one more time. By the way, this is a very busy area, a ton of traffic going through right now. I see the emergency responder with lights on. It looks like this camera's pretty far away, but it's possible that a tow truck is at the scene right now. That would be some good news to help get this cleared quickly. But once again, this is in Racine County, 4194 north, about a mile and a half beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 11. Left shoulder is blocked due to that crash. We do have our typical delays around American Family Field due to the construction on 94 westbound. Also seeing more significant slowing right now on 94 eastbound headed into the city, right around the ballpark as well. Other than that, we're doing pretty good. A couple disabled vehicles, but as I take a peek here, they're not going to impact your drive.
Let's get a clue into the weekend forecast with TMJ4 Chief Meteorologist. It's Brian Niznansky. Hey, Niz.
Yo, what's going on, guys? A really nice first day of spring so far, actually overachieving from previous forecast that I had for today.
Did you get a walk-in? Did you get to do something? Tell us you got a walk-in as we're stuck in here.
Oh, yeah, I got my walk-in. Me and Murphy went for a big walk today. It was a little bit squishy in spots, but we're good to go. So today, definitely more sunshine than I was expecting. I had mostly cloudy skies, and with that added sunshine, it has allowed our temperatures to climb well into the 50s. However, that wind is now shifting out of the northeast, and we probably have peaked with our temperatures near Lake Michigan. We'll start to slide, and pretty much everywhere across southeastern Wisconsin will start to go down later this afternoon.
So I was noting on the forecast today the slight difference, a little cooler near the lake than inland. It doesn't say that for tomorrow, however, unless I'm reading it wrong. What does determine? Is it the wind that determines if it's going to be cooler at the lake or not in March and April specifically?
Absolutely. And tomorrow has been flip-flopping back and forth. It's been tough. Tomorrow, it really depends on how strong that southwest wind gets. What we have is, let's just say, we call it the synoptic wind. It's just the overall wind pattern is out of the southwest. However, with our cold lake, which I kind of explained with the lake breeze yesterday, if the wind is too light, let's say it's 5 miles an hour, then the lake will take over. Basically, it will offset that wind and we'll get a lake breeze to build off of the lake. Some of the most recent computer model runs have the wind strong enough out of the southwest that even locations near the lake could warm into the 60s. It could be So let's see if that holds true. Yesterday looked like more of a lake breeze solution, whereas today things for tomorrow look like it could end up being warmer for everybody.
That is big because for people downtown, the wind, it makes all the difference. It's the difference between, are you going to go and take that walk along the Oak Leaf Trail? Are you going to bike to Lakeshore State Park? Or are you going to try to go visit some friends and family out in the burbs?
That all sounds nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I posted a very similar map to what you're describing on social media. And I mean, like, people that they half joke, like, hey, day trip out to Brookfield, day trip out to West Bend if you're in Port Washington, because days like tomorrow, if they set up, can make a huge difference. Now, again, it's siding towards a warmer trend, but I would say if you're a community that's right along the lakeshore, Port Washington, or even if you are like standing down by Discovery World, Lakeshore State Park, I would bank on it being cooler if you are like standing right on the lake. However, if that southwest wind holds strong, it won't be nearly as chilly as if that wind bends out of the east.
So, Niz, you know we have the wind chill and the heat index. We need some sort of metric that measures how many people from the North Shore or downtown go west of 41 when these temperature swings happen. There's got to be some sort of metric we can apply.
Yeah, it brings up a really good conversation. As forecasting gets better, I know there's some people who are like, yeah, right, the weatherman's always wrong. Anyhow, as in general, meteorologists get better, computer modeling gets better. One thing that I would really, really like to do is give people a better understanding as to where, quote unquote, cooler near the lake sets up. Because sometimes that could mean, it's warm all the way, warm even at the stadium. Whereas other days, cooler near the lake could mean you got to go way out to, Oconomowoc. So in order to be able to nail that down is super tricky, but I think we're getting there. It takes observation points increasing. It takes, sampling of what's going on to increase. It takes, the algorithms and the modeling to do better, and just getting a better understanding of how the topography works and how, things come off of Lake Michigan. My hope is that this is something that we can really start to get even better at in the coming years.
I didn't really think about that, but that's a good point. And I don't remember how long ago this was, but I was somewhere and I was with family and I was talking about temperatures cooler by the lake and had mentioned temperatures that weren't exactly downtown Milwaukee. And I remember my dad saying something like, I don't know if that jives because I'm not really by the lake. And I was like, well. Yeah,
I agree. And so growing up in Racine, we always considered near the lake east of the interstate, 94 or 41. And then west would be inland. That was in our thinking, but there are many times where that dividing line between the people who are in the 60s and the ones that aren't is different than that. It doesn't just park itself on the freeway. I mean, it could be a mile within the lakeshore. It could be 5 miles within the lakeshore. So there's a number of different factors that determine that. And I guess that's what I'm getting at is that hopefully, maybe even this year it's a difference. But in the coming years, technology is getting better that we're able to, decipher between who gets the warm up and who doesn't.
All right, Niz, let's look ahead to opening day real quick before we let you go. Yeah. Everybody wants to know what we might be looking at here on Thursday of next week.
Yeah, right now it's looking warmer. I think we have a chance at, a 60-degree number. However, there could be some shower chances. It doesn't look like a scenario where we have a big storm system and it's going to be an all-day soaking cold rain. It could be a deal where we have, a line of scattered showers that come through at some point. So determining the timing of that, still a little premature with that. But right now, it doesn't look like one of those opening days that we are, staring down a 38 and cold rain with snow mixing in at this point. So we got that going for us.
Well, that's good. I do see, in case it does rain, that Rally House right now for $7.99 has a Milwaukee Brewers lightweight slicker you can get. You can get a poncho.
Okay.
Nice. There you go.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, especially tailgating. I mean, that's all part of opening day, right? There are people who go to opening day and they go right into the stadium. And if they do, they're probably at some other venue prior and they took a shuttle. Opening day is an event. It's a day-long event. Lasts longer for some than others, but it's a long-duration event. Obviously, the game is going to be nice and comfortable indoors, but when you're outside before and after the game, always a good idea to be prepared for the elements on opening day.
Good stuff, Niz. Have yourself a great weekend.
Yeah,
Spread out that
weekend.
snow on the lawn. Make sure it melts.
Yeah, I was out there spreading today.
Yeah,
I was out spreading them piles. All right, we'll see you.
Take care, man. 146 on WTMJ. The Brewers giving us a reason to stay after the game next week, Thursday. We'll explain why after this.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Siding Unlimited, truly siding it a whole lot more. Weather's getting a little better. Time to survey the house and see how it held up during the wicked winter months. We hope the bad stuff is gone, but very easy for moisture to find its way into your house, maybe breaching those windows or front door. Siding Unlimited can fix whatever you got that your house is ailing from. Windows, doors, roofing, siding, high-quality products, the best products, and the best installation teams. That really separates Siding Unlimited from the rest. recognized by Pella as a 5-time National Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year. That's the best of the best. Right here in Wisconsin, this national award, a nationally award-winning Siding Unlimited. Take some ideas out to their showroom, ask what they've done for us over the years and what they can do for you. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margot Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, cold plunge. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale is happening at the Realtors Home and Garden Show inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park. For a limited time, you can save thousands with factory direct pricing and special show discounts. Shop floor models, brand new inventory, and exclusive show-only deals you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss the Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale, March 20th through the 29th, only at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Come see it, try it, and save big at the show.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
So the Brewers begin the regular season Thursday of next week. Going to be a great day. Always is. Opening day feels like a holiday in these parts. And the
Really
Brewers
does.
get a home game. Unlike last year when they started in New York and got swept in that series, and it's kind of a clunky start to the season.
There's something extra special about this. And because think of all the years you talk about opening day for the Brewers, but then you talk about the home opener.
Yes.
Oftentimes it's different. So, yeah, this is extra special.
Brewers take on the White Sox on Thursday of next week, and the Brewers are asking fans to stick around after the game for a 20-minute preview of Uke. It's a locally produced documentary film focused on the life and legacy of the great Bob Uecker.
It's going to be a preview pretty much plucked right out of the film. It's going to be about a 20-minute excerpt covering a lot of his early days as a ball player and as a comic, kind of his rise from being the self-deprecating, funny baseball player to doing comic work, basically doing stand-up comedy and working his way up to Johnny Carson.
That's co-director Steve Farr. He joined Sandy Max on What's on Tap. This is more than just a trailer. I mean, this is a 20-minute excerpt of the film. The world premiere of the full-length feature will be in April 16th to be exact, according to co-director Michael Volman.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Film Festival has chosen Uke to be the opening night film, so that's
Congratulations.
An amazing honor. I think we're the first local team of directors and producers to have a film open the festival, so that's quite an honor.
April 16th, the Oriental Theater is going to be the place to be to see the full feature-length Uke documentary. How special is that?
I'm probably going to have some feelings that day, I would imagine. It's going to be a community event and family and friends and a lot of people from the baseball world. So, yeah, it'll be a special night.
So the precursor at American Family Field, if you're going to be at opening day, stick around for this 20-minute excerpt of the film. Then the full thing, April 16th at the Oriental.
That's a long day, but I think so many people are going to stay. I mean, I remember for... What was it? I can't remember what game it was, but when they were honoring Bob Uecker, my mom and I went, and they gave you these little pins that had kind of the coloring and the plaid that Bob would wear, and it was just awesome. And there were so many people there before the game even began. I think a lot of people are going to stay. I imagine there's going to be silence in the ballpark as this airs.
The film traces Uecker's journey from sandlot baseball to Milwaukee as a member of the Braves, his major league career, 50 years plus as the iconic voice of the Brewers. But the filmmakers talk about how the tenor of the film took a slight change months before Uke's passing.
We found out about his diagnosis pretty early on, and we were among a few people that knew. We realized we weren't going to have as much time with him at home. Basically he just said, look, I got to deal with this. I'm going to help you out as much as I possibly can. I'm going to be spending a lot of time, at the doctor's office, treatments, resting at home and being at the ballpark. So we respected that. And, when he was ready to do things, we would do things. And to his credit, he would say, we're going to get out on that boat. And we'd get out on the boat.
Filmmakers started this project in 2022. It took nearly 4 years to complete.
We really wanted to make sure that people appreciated how good a broadcaster Bob was for how long. And I think there may have been a period of time where people thought of him as a genuinely funny person, which he was, but maybe not a great broadcaster or play-by-play guy. But he was one of the best.
And I'm sure along with that, there will be some of those stories that are just etched in your mind that you know from Bob Uecker because they've been told several times, but you can't hear them enough, right? You cannot hear some of those great Bob Uecker stories enough. Stories that you know by heart. They could be retold through this feature film. They just never get old.
Well, and I love something that we do here at WTMJ. I mean, you'll still hear clips of Uecker during our broadcast, and I love that. It's like he's still with us.
All that and more covered in the full feature film, along with some of those stories, including this particular excerpt. You might be familiar with this.
There's a famous incident where Bob was with the 1964 Cardinals team, and they went to the World Series. And before the first game, he grabbed a tuba from one of the band people that were on the field, and he started shagging fly balls with the tuba.
I love that photo. It seems very Bob.
Yeah. Because he did that, the manager was a little upset with him and basically decided in that moment that he wasn't going to play in the World Series.
It cost him playing.
Yeah, he's always played it up for laughs, but, literally it did cost him time playing in the World Series.
Uecker's recollection of that classic event?
They had 3 Dixieland bands on the field, pregame entertainment. So we're out in left field. I'm shagging fly balls during batting practice. Roger Craig says, why don't you put that tuba on? So I thought, what's it going to hurt? So I put it on, and now I got it on. Now I'm thinking, maybe I ought to try to catch a couple of balls in this thing. Well, next day it's all over the newspapers and everything else that I did this tuba incident, and it cost me $260.
How?
Well, I put a couple of dents in it, trying to catch a couple of fly balls.
And the Cardinals wouldn't absorb the cost?
No, yes. After I take them to a World Series, they're not going to come up with $260 for a tuba. That was kind of a disappointment for me, but it was okay.
Hey, Easter's almost here. WTMJ's John Mercure. I highly recommend the Easter Sunday brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. It's one of the truly special family dining events of the year. Do it at a very special place. My favorite place, the Fox and Hounds. The food is world class. Everything you love for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including prime rib and an entire room of homemade desserts. It's all you care to eat, and kids and grandkids under 3, they eat for free. Sip on a delicious old-fashioned bourbon or over 100 fine wines as you dine in one of the Fox and Hounds' 8 elegant dining rooms, maybe a mimosa. The Fox and Hounds, tucked into the Kettle Moraine Forest, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The spring drive is spectacular. So do not cook, do not clean on Easter Sunday. Relax and enjoy your family and grandkids. The Fox and Hounds friendly staff will serve you. Call and reserve today as tables fill quickly. You'll love the Easter Sunday brunch, the Fox and Hounds.
Hey, sounds good, John. Well, we've had a great time in our newly finished basement thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing. We had an idea of creating family memories in the basement, hosting for the holidays, birthday parties, get-togethers. We love having people over. And now that the games are here, it's been a great place for us all to hang out. We've all got our own brackets, and we're interested. We're all hanging out together, our family, in our newly finished basement thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing. If you've been thinking about doing your lower level, you're just not really sure where to start, hey, we were in the same boat. We did a ton of research, ultimately connected with Matrix Basement Finishing, and we are thrilled with the results. They come to you. They will come to your house for a free design consultation. Oftentimes, you're forking over pretty good bucks for plans. Not the case with Matrix. A free design consultation, no obligation. They come to your house. They talk to you. They tour the space. They sketch out some ideas and give you a sense for what that finished space could look like. Then they take the product and go to the CAD system. Now you got renderings. Next thing you know, you're picking out finished products and you're doing it from your kitchen table. Amazing service, right on time and clean with Matrix Basement Finishing. Book now, no payments till 2028. If you want to see what they did for us, check out my social media pages. I'd be happy to connect you directly with the folks at Matrix Basement Finishing. Just comment on one of the photos that you see, the before and after. Pretty amazing stuff. It's Matrix Basement Finishing.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life, rejuvenate.
So it's all too common of a story. And it's common enough that we account for a certain percentage of our new patients to make their first appointment and get cold feet. They put it off. I'm not sure why, because our physicians are offering legitimate medical pain relief treatment. The combination of hyaluronic acid and Toradol cushions joints and has an extremely powerful effect in reducing inflammation. So much so that a vast majority of Rejuvenex patients report a significant improvement with their pain. I guess it's human nature. But sometimes human nature keeps us in our comfort zone, even when it means remaining living in pain. So after you make your appointment to alleviate your pain, and that little voice tries to convince you to put it off, don't, because your pain problems can be solved, and you can live a better life.
Rejuvenate. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we could be seeing you tomorrow.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, March 20th. Your top story, a statue removed over allegations against a late activist.
I'm Jessica Tai. A U.S. stealth fighter possibly struck by Iran.
Nice day today. Temperatures topping out in the mid-50s. Some clouds will roll in eventually. Overnight low 34. Mostly sunny on Saturday. 65 the high inland. A little cooler near the lake. It's 56 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a Cesar Chavez statue in Milwaukee is no more.
On the plaza outside El Rey Family Market on the city's south side, plaques honoring the legacy of Chavez were removed from the store's entrance. El Rey co-founder Ernesto Villarreal says they want to recognize immigrants and plan to replace the statue with one of a migrant family. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A man living at a Girl Scout camp faces felony charges after police found guns and drugs in his home.
48-year-old Paul David is accused of growing marijuana and having magic mushrooms and multiple weapons at his home located at the Camp Silverbrook Girl Scout camp in West Bend. According to the criminal complaint, investigators searched David's home on March 15th after receiving a call related to a domestic-related charge. Investigators say David is a convicted felon, and the guns and drugs were in easy reach of the 2 children who lived in the home. Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast say David's wife was an employee and is on administrative leave during the investigation. They also say no girls were involved or harmed. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
A U.S. stealth fighter makes an emergency landing after it's believed to have been struck by Iranians. ABC's Luis Martinez.
As we dig deeper into what happened here, stealth fighters are undetectable to electromagnetic bounces from radars. But if you get something close to it that can detect infrared or heat-seeking locations, like potentially an infrared missile, then potentially this could be something that strikes the target.
The pilot of the F-35 was able to land the plane safely.
Long security lines are greeting air travelers this spring break as the partial government shutdown continues. News Nation's Marcus Espinosa.
DHS data showing agents on Wednesday called out 5 times as much as a typical day. Nearly 40% of workers in Atlanta and Houston, 25% at JFK. Speaking with passengers this morning, really clear they're equally frustrated, not just over the longer lines, but also the situation itself and what it places TSA workers in.
Just yesterday here in Wisconsin's Midday News, we talked with the Director of Public Affairs at Milwaukee's Mitchell International Airport, and Harold Mester told us Milwaukee not seeing a major impact, but he did say travelers should still arrive 2 hours early. TSA agents have been working without pay since mid-February.
The Senate convenes today to resume consideration of the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or SAVE Act. If approved, people would be required to show proof of citizenship to register to vote and a photo ID at the polling place. CBS's Anthony Salvanto.
Requiring a valid photo ID to vote gets wide support to 80%. Almost all Republicans feel that would be a good idea. But you also see that with 2/3 of Democrats and a big majority, almost 8 in 10 independents. Requiring documents showing proof of citizenship to register to vote. That's 2/3 in favor.
The new poll shows fewer Americans think there is widespread fraud in U.S. elections. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Limping to the finish here. The Dow is off about 450 points at 45,566. That's about a percentage down in the red. NASDAQ off about 2% today, 441 points down at 21,649. And the S&P down about 100 points at 6508. Make it end. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
If you couldn't tell, we're dancing, and Greg is paying a lot of attention. Is this one going to go in? He's driving down. He's driving down. Oh, he passes. He passes. He passes. Oh, we don't have time. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit Froedtert.com/cancer.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Another Cactus League night game for the Brewers taking on the Diamondbacks this evening. Brewers second baseman Bryce Terang back with the team after being named to the first team All-World Baseball Classic team.
I would rather not be on that list and win the gold because I want to win so bad. It's cool. It's really cool. I had a good time, and, I couldn't be in that position without my teammates. Those guys were so great to me. They made me feel comfortable.
Brewers begin the regular season Thursday of next week against the White Sox. 16 games on the tournament schedule today. The biggest upset on day one, the Badgers falling to High Point 83-82. VCU and Texas A&M, the other double-digit seeds, to advance. And semifinal games are finished in Division 5, now taking place in Division 2. Division 1 yet to come. WIAA State Boys Basketball Tournament continues from Madison.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Looking a lot better than we were before. No crashes to report. That's great news. We do still have a broken down vehicle on the side at the exit to Wisconsin 32 North, Grafton Avenue from I-43 North. That's been out there for a while. The delays around the ballpark, it is Friday. We're definitely seeing those delays in our construction zone on 94 westbound around the ballpark. And then just for a little bit on 94 eastbound headed into the city right after the ballpark, right in the Menominee Valley area. I am also seeing some delays on 4145 as you approach the Mayfair area. Those are typical too, and they get better once you get past Curry Park and reach Hampton Road.
Nice day today. Some clouds, some sun. Overall, comfortable temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Clouds should roll in later tonight, a low of 34. Tomorrow looks like a winter, high of 65 inland, a little cooler near the lake. Some rain in the forecast on Sunday with a high of 48. It's 56 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 208.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
I made mention that the Brewers have a night game today in Arizona. It's not uncommon to sprinkle one or two of those in throughout the course of spring training. This was supposed to be a mid-afternoon game, but the temperature in Phoenix today, 106. So the Diamondbacks actually moved this to a night game.
A little too hot for everybody.
Oh, my gosh. That is rough. That is rough. That's supposed to hang out. If you're going to Phoenix here for any part of your spring break, temperatures in the hundreds over the next several days.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, more Marines being tapped to help with the war in Iran. Be prepared for the American military presence in the Middle East to increase in the days ahead. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the update from Washington.
2 U.S. officials tell ABC News 3 amphibious ships carrying 2,200 Marines left San Diego earlier this week. Formally, officials say the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit left on a previously scheduled deployment to the Indo-Pacific. Sources say their ultimate destination is likely to change. If they're given final orders to head to the Middle East, it could take weeks for the ships to get there, where they would join thousands of other Marines already headed to the region aboard other vessels.
This is the second massive deployment of Marines in the past week. The Pentagon already sent the Japan-based USS Tripoli and the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit to the region. I have confirmed some Marines from here in southeastern Wisconsin are currently deployed with the 31st MEU.
Well, number 2, the White House unveiling its framework for artificial intelligence. Proposal states that federal law, not state law, should lead on setting the boundaries with the new technology. The framework also mentions protections for children and efforts to make the workforce better equipped for AI. It's all coming as a growing number of people from across the political spectrum have been outspoken against AI data centers and how they drive up the cost of utilities and use up natural resources. More from ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
This follows on President Trump's announcement about a ratepayer protection pledge that he recently unveiled, which requires tech companies to supply or pay for the electricity that their data centers use. Now, it is voluntary, but it so far has received the signage from Google, Meta, OpenAI, and Amazon. So within this national policy framework, it calls on Congress to codify basically what's already in that ratepayer protection pledge.
Administration is not waiting for Congress here. The Department of Commerce was tasked with identifying burdensome state laws and doing so by March 11th and an AI litigation task force.
Coming up, a familiar voice right here on WTMJ takes a deeply personal fight to Washington, pushing for change on Parkinson's disease. It's 2:11.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. Greg Matzik here for Gruber Law Offices. If you've been hurt in an accident, boy, it can really flip your world upside down. Trust the folks at Gruber to help you fight the legal battle while you focus on healing. Wonderful people, family-run business, but a big and powerful team. They're ready to take on the insurance companies as one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. No fee with Gruber, no cost to call, no cost to consult or retain the firm. Never a fee until they win your case. They've been doing that for 40 years and giving back to the community. Wonderful people giving back to the community and helping win your legal battle. Visit gruber-law.com or call 414-276-6666.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. Milwaukee, this is the night you don't want to miss. The Analysis Live is back. March 27th at the Riverside Theater in downtown Milwaukee. You never know who's going to step on stage. The Analysis has shocked the crowd in past years with surprise appearances by Giannis and Stephen A. Smith. This year, Ric Flair headlines the Analysis Live. The WWE legend, the Hall of Famer, the Nature Boy. You know there will be plenty of surprises. Friday night, March 27th at the Riverside Theaters. Lock in your tickets now. TALiveshow.com. That's TALiveshow.com.
Well, nice day today. Get out and enjoy it. Good deal of sunshine and a high of 56 degrees. Overnight low in the upper 30s. Tomorrow looks like a winter. 65 your high. Plenty of sunshine. A little cooler near the lake. Could see some rain on Sunday with a high of 48. 56 and sunny in Milwaukee at 2:14.
Most people will never walk the halls of Capitol Hill asking lawmakers for help. But imagine doing it with the weight of your spouse's diagnosis on your shoulders. One of our colleagues did just that. Julia Fellow, host of Wisconsin's Afternoon News, traveled to Washington, D.C. for the Parkinson's Policy Forum. Not as a journalist or a broadcaster, but as a wife advocating for her husband, Jason, who was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease at the age of 39. She joins us live in the studio today to share what happened behind those closed doors on Capitol Hill and why this fight is so personal. So thanks for being here. I think this is really important, Julia.
Thank you. No, I think it's important for people to understand what it takes to go to Washington, that it's not so threatening. They work for you. You're their boss.
You've covered so many stories over the years, but this one is your own. This is your family story. It's personal. How different did it feel walking into those meetings with your husband, who lives with this every day?
Incredibly uncomfortable. I'm used to just, asking the questions, going beyond the red line of talking about campaigns and different things. Instead, I was representing the Michael J. Fox Foundation and the Parkinson's Foundation, so I didn't want to let them down. I was also representing the state of Wisconsin, and there were supposed to be 10 of us that went, but instead there were just 4 because of the snow.
Oh, that's right.
And even one of the congressmen, Derek Van Orden, couldn't make it. So I was texting him. I was trying to go to every congressman's location there where they are, and he couldn't even make it because he was stuck up north.
Were there representatives from around the country? You mentioned that you were part of a group from Wisconsin representing our state. Mm-hmm. Were representatives from all other states, some other states? What was the crowd like?
49 other states.
Great.
One of them, I think it was South Dakota or North Dakota. One of the Dakotas wasn't there. More than 350 people that have Parkinson's, live with it, lost someone, are a researcher, doctor, care partner. Yeah. So it was incredibly inspiring. And they had a prep day before of what to expect, that if it was a hallway meeting, don't take that personally. Don't be like, oh, I just came all the way from Wisconsin. I went through TSA and everything. No, that's perfectly normal. And if you just get 5 minutes or less, that's okay too. That is perfectly normal. They're very busy. And if you're meeting with someone who looks like they could be your son or daughter, that's normal too. And also, if they're one of the legislative aides, sometimes they're paying attention more than the actual U.S. congressman or U.S. senator on a certain lane that they're in, like healthcare. So when Tammy Baldwin's legislative aide on healthcare was able to sit down and talk to us, that was huge because she's on one of the subcommittees. She's also dealing with what's going on with the Epstein files, the war in Iran. So she was able to hone in and say, oh, yes, the next meeting on that is this, this, and this. Because one of our asks is to increase research funding for Parkinson's, which is we wanted to ask for $600 million. And that seems like a lot of money. But if you take it into perspective, they're putting in about $335 million a year into Parkinson's research. And when you compare it to Alzheimer's research is getting $3 billion every year. But that's because there's advocates that are going to Capitol Hill. 16 years it took. So I know that this will likely not affect Jason and I, but if this could prevent another person from hearing you have Parkinson's and know that there's a drug that's not more than 70 years old, that's the gold standard still, that I'd made all the difference.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think that's so important because I think there are a lot of families out there who would say the same thing. Well, it's too late for our family, or it's too hard. I can't go in and talk about this story. What would you say to those families who just don't feel like they have it in them to go out and advocate and talk to the lawmakers?
Oh, I feel the same way. Every time it was so emotionally draining because you have to tell your personal story. If you want someone to care and you ask them first, do you know what Parkinson's disease is? And most of them said no. So you have to educate them on it, how it's affecting myself, my family. And when you talk about the $600 million ask, it sounds like a lot, but they think on ROI. So you have to talk their language, a politician's language, return on investment. And you think that would be someone like a corporation or something. No, they want to know too before they vote. So, for example, $82.2 billion. That's how much in 2024 Parkinson's and Parkinson's-related disorders cost the government and patients and doctors' offices and everything for the infrastructure of dealing with Parkinson's disease. So if you compare that number lost and going into the ether to $600 million invested that could find better treatments, a cure, early detection, which we're on the cusp of, then I think that the return on investment is there.
Action will ultimately determine if your voice was heard, right? And the voices of so many hundreds of others. And it probably takes repeat visits. But did you get a sense that your message was delivered the way you wanted to deliver it, but also heard on the other end?
I think so. Even on the other side, we were warned. This is kind of sad, but it is what it is. There was some mock interviews that they did, like if it was a hallway interview, they showed you what that looked like if you were sitting down with a politician and if you were sitting down with a difficult politician. And the person was portrayed with the last meeting last September was Ron Johnson, was the poor meeting, was the bad meeting. Yes, because he was saying the NIH is corrupt, that, some of these studies are a hoax. And some of the advocates and actual patients were shocked by this. But it makes me think, am I sad that he did that, or am I admiring it because he was honest with his constituents on how he feels? So I felt like his office, when I met with them, they were very receptive. They were repeating some of my figures that I talked back to them. So I felt like, okay, they're repeating what I just said. So it's getting through. It's going to take a lot of time. I would guess maybe a quarter century before we get more research funding into Parkinson's. It's just not a lot of people know about it, and it's growing at a faster rate than Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned talking with some of the aides. Did you get a chance to talk to any of our Congress members specifically from Wisconsin?
No, not one. Not one. And I didn't want, this is the thing. I don't know how you feel, but I was going to go and stick my nose in it, and who I know. And the only person I did was Van Orden because I had his cell phone, right here, like tangibly. And I felt like maybe I could pregame it, but I didn't want to get in the way of the organization.
Sure.
And my position. So I just was going as a citizen. I just wanted to see how is it going to be? And I think Ron Johnson may have been in the meeting, but he was trying to get through. Who's taking over Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem? I forget his name.
Oh,
Mark Wayne Mullen.
Thank you, Mark Wayne Mullen. It's going to roll off my tongue pretty soon. He was overseeing one of the subcommittees on that to vote him through.
So that's a bit of a bummer. Obviously, as a journalist, you would get that. But as you talked about, some of the aides, and I get that, are paying more attention probably than the lawmakers who are like, I got 2 minutes. Okay, tell me the spiel. So ultimately, what were your big takeaways as far as the response that you got? And were there any moments that really stuck with you where you say, you can think back and just feel like they heard me? I feel like they're going back to the Congress member and they might make a difference for us.
Absolutely. Well, for example, the third thing was to implement the National Parkinson's Project, which was signed by President Biden in 2024, and it passed unanimously through the Senate. Even Ron Johnson and everyone voted it through. So I said, it's missed 2 key deadlines, including seating a committee, January 1st of this year. Your senator, your congressman, voted through, and they're representing us. Why don't we hold them accountable, HHS, to make sure that it goes through, because they voted for it, your boss, and so they were really, you have to give them like a reason to care. So giving your personal story and then sharing the asks and how it goes through your personal story or the congressperson's personal story is how it works.
Did you get the sense, Julia, that they felt you represent not only that group from Wisconsin, but the thousands in this state who identify with what you're talking about and advocating for, the power of the state behind you? You talk about 25 years. It might take this long, quarter of a century, but then you identified a step that President Biden took that passed. So there's one step, and then the next step, and the one after that, right? It does seem like this is a slow build, unfortunately. But do you feel like the weight of this state was behind what you were saying and that was felt?
I think the people in the room, definitely. And that's why if some of you are thinking at home, I'm not going to go to Washington, D.C. They're not going to listen to what I have to say. My husband was talking about how he grew up in Wisconsin. He was born in Wisconsin Rapids. He learned how to drive a boat and pull people water skiing before he could even drive a car, and talking about the environmental concerns. And then we had a doctor next to us from Madison who got Parkinson's disease, and so did his neighbor who shared the same well water. So kind of alluding to the environmental factor of this. And then a woman who lost her husband to Parkinson's disease after a 13-year battle. And then 3 months later, she got Parkinson's disease.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I think that showing a face to the name, and you have to do that. And if someone doesn't know what it is, it's almost your responsibility to make sure that the highest and most powerful people in the state know it.
What was this like for Jason, your husband?
He was I was like ready to go,
I'm sure you were, but for him, a different experience, but I imagine so powerful, not only for him to be there, but to have you there with him, too.
I was so jazzed that he was able to talk about it. You feel really alone. You feel like no one really understands what you're going through. And then when you're in a room of 350 people who are all around the same cause, and when a congressperson or senator's office staff goes, Michael J. Fox Foundation, you just feel like you have a whole tribe behind you that's rooting for you. And Jessica, I can't tell you how much of a difference it's made in his life to feel like he could actually help the next generation not have to go through what he's going through.
Yeah, that's so good. Good for him and good for you as well. We appreciate all your efforts.
Great work.
Yes, make your voice heard, everybody.
Julia will be back rolling in her suitcase. If you watch on streaming, you might notice that Julia rolls in her suitcase every time, getting ready for Wisconsin's afternoon news. And she'll be doing that in about 35 minutes here.
I got to change my wheel. My wheel just broke.
Uh-oh.
And it's
I thought you were going to say it was a squeaky
pounds.
wheel.
Yeah, it was, and now it's almost falling off.
Squeaky wheel gets the worm? No.
It does.
It's the early worm,
Gets
right?
the grease. Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
There you go.
All right. Thanks so much, Julia.
Thank
it's
you.
2:25. Coming up next, it's your top local news and national headlines as well.
So, Dad, what gives with the square pizzas?
Well, Marty wanted to be different, but little did he know that he was giving everyone a real value. We figured it out. Our 12-inch square pizza covers 27% more space than a 12-inch round.
A bigger pizza and a better value.
Yep, 27% more.
Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
And martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Register online for Red Card Loyalty, and after 15 pizzas, you'll get your next one free!
So for those keeping score at home, the early bird gets the worm, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Oh my gosh, I
right?
almost just spit my tea.
I think that's how it goes, right? I think that's. I just want to make sure we get them all straight. I think that's accurate.
Is it Friday yet?
Yes, I believe it is. 33 minutes until Wisconsin's afternoon news. But who is counting? Hey, if you've not checked out Horicon Bank and you might be in the market for a new bank, maybe you're trying to get a business off the ground, you got to connect with Horicon Bank. See what they can do for you and your business. They've got 130 years experience in this space. Amazing commitment to the community and you and your business. It's Horicon Bank, doing banking differently since 1896, with branches now open in Wauwatosa and New Berlin and Menominee Falls. It's Horicon Bank. Expanding, yes, but they've not lost that community-minded approach. Wonderful people, a great business. It's doing banking differently since 1896. Horicon Bank, the natural choice, and member FDIC.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
What's more important than having a special needs child turning 18 who needs guardianship?
Or helping aging parents plan for long-term care.
Thankfully, the attorneys at Walney Legal Group can help with both.
No intimidating lawyers, Walney Legal provides a customized, friendly experience to help make these processes as straightforward and streamlined as possible.
So whether you're planning for aging parents
or establishing a strong legal foundation for a special needs child, visit WALNYlegal.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no-obligation consultation today.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. 20 to 30 pounds. How about a month or two? Call for your free weight loss consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180. Or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, March 20th. Your top story: dozens of new bills become law for Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. New food at the ballpark.
Nice day today. 56 our high. Good deal of sunshine. Mostly cloudy tonight and a low of 34. Mostly sunny on Saturday and a high of 65 inland. A little cooler near the lake.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubosky. Cleanup efforts are now underway in the Old City neighborhood of Jerusalem after an Iranian missile injured several people there. As the fighting in Iran continues, oil prices have been spiking amid the continued fighting around the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway for transporting crude oil. ABC's Sherry Preston.
The International Energy Agency telling the Financial Times, even if the conflict ends and the Strait of Hormuz reopens, it could take 6 months or even longer to bring back oil and gas fields. The IEA is encouraging people to conserve gas where possible, including driving slower, using public transit, and, if allowed, working from home.
Estimates from Gas Buddy now put the national average for a gallon of regular at $3.93 a gallon. In Hawaii, Governor Josh Green has activated the National Guard to assist with severe flooding in that state, with storm systems dropping 1 to 2 inches of rain an hour in some areas. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers signs a dozen new bills into law.
The package of bills includes a retail theft criminal enhancer for those with prior convictions, and another clarifying free bingo games held at bars are legal as long as players don't pay to participate. The governor also vetoed several bills he said were attempts by the state legislature to grab more power. Governor Evers did not take action on a separate gambling-related package legalizing online sports betting that passed the state Senate Tuesday. He has indicated he'll take more time to consider whether all the state's tribal nations were consulted. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The new fire chief for Wauwatosa makes history. Barbara Cadrich is the first ever female to lead the Wauwatosa Fire Department. The city says she'll be the chief until they merge with the West Allis Fire Department early next year, creating the Milwaukee Metro Fire Department. Communications Manager Ava Anamorado.
We will be doing a national search for the fire chief of Milwaukee Metro Fire Rescue. So details coming probably summer. That will be a national search, to which she's welcome to apply.
Wauwatosa says they hope to have the fire chief for the merged department hired by fall.
Well, the Brewers are bringing new flavors to the ballpark this season. New vendors set to join the Alley Food Truck Park at the 3rd Street Market Hall Annex. Vice President of Consumer Experience, Tom Hecht, tells WTMJ.
We really did elevate things like our burgers and our hot dogs, the top dogs, and the sausages, and really making sure we're offering a great product there. And then bringing in the local flair, I think, just expands it. Those are things that fans have experienced outside of this ballpark, and hopefully they'll be excited for them to be here.
Brewers open up against the White Sox Thursday of next week.
After a brief weather delay, drivers on I-94 can expect a major traffic shift heading into the weekend.
Eric Hansen of the DOT says this week's snow pushed things back slightly, but the project is still on track.
We did have to push it by a day or two just because of that large snowstorm that we had at the beginning of the week.
Crews are now moving forward with reopening lanes on eastbound 94.
So come Friday morning, March 20th, we will have 94 eastbound back open to 3 lanes between 70th Street and Zablocki Drive there, and that is scheduled to remain open through late summer.
And that setup should stay in place through most of the construction season. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
And the first peregrine falcon egg of the season has been laid at the We Energies Nest Box at the Oak Creek Power Plant. It's the second year for falcon parents, Essity and Joel, to have chicks together. We Energies expects more eggs to be laid in the next several days, with chicks hatching in just over a month. Since the falcon boxes were installed at power plants across southeastern Wisconsin in the 1990s, over 460 peregrine falcons have been hatched.
Exciting.
Exciting news. Exciting news.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Do you love the way your home looks? When you pull in, do you think, wow, the old homestead looks fantastic? Or do you notice that the siding's all faded and the roof is kind of falling apart? Well, Tri-County Contracting can help make it look the way you truly want it and make you love it. The website is tricountycontractingwi.com. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. tricountycontractingwi.com.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopko Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Shag carpet, avocado appliances, no frills backyards. A lot has changed. For 100 years, the Realtors Home and Garden Show, presented by Unilock, has showcased what's next, helping homeowners and gardeners rethink the way they live, indoors and out. This year's 100th annual show is packed with ideas for today, from smart homes to outdoor living spaces. Join us March 20th through 29th at State Fair Park. Buy tickets at mkehgs.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Brewers starter Brandon Woodruff continues to make progress building stamina in his throwing shoulder.
I know some of the velocity numbers are not like, they're not 96, 97, but just the way I feel physically is last year's not even, it's not even fair to compare to this year.
Brewers are expected to name an opening day starter later today. They'll take on the Diamondbacks tonight, a rare night game in the Cactus League. NCAA tournament play continues today. 16 games on the schedule, 4 currently in action. A couple of blowouts here, but Virginia has a slim 6-point advantage over Wright State. About 8 minutes to go in the second half. Iowa State all over Tennessee State, 32-9 in the first half. And Arizona's 2 minutes away from advancing with a win over LIU.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It's not too bad. We're looking a lot better than we were before. Yes, we do have delays in our construction zones. That includes 94 westbound around the ballpark, and actually our delays eastbound around the ballpark into the city are getting longer as well. Greenfield, that's a disabled car, but that's not doing anything, not impacting traffic. I also see we have some delays in our construction zone on 4145. They start after Watertown Plank Road, get real busy and slow around the Mayfair area. And they actually go right now past Capitol, past Hampton too. So that delay, the backup is getting longer without a doubt. Looks like you'll be good to go though once you hit Silver Spring.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Partly sunny skies, comfortable temperatures today, high 56 degrees, overnight low 34. 65 the high inland on Saturday. Should see plenty of sunshine. Upper 50s closer to the lake. Chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 48. 56 in partly sunny in Milwaukee at 2:39.
It's a story that sparked outrage from all sides this week. Dozens of animal activists broke into Ridgeland Farms in Dane County over the weekend and took more than 20 beagles. They called it an open rescue. Ridgeland Farms has been breeding dogs for biomedical research for decades. In fact, it's been in business in Dane County for 60 years. It's also been under intense scrutiny. While emotions are running high after this latest incident, there's an important piece of context that can't be ignored. A special prosecutor spent months investigating whether what was happening at Ridgeland Farms actually crossed the line into criminal behavior. That investigation ultimately led to a major change at the facility, but no criminal charges. So what did he find? La Crosse County District Attorney Tim Granke joins us live now with the details. Thanks so much for joining us, Tim.
Sure, no problem.
So you led the investigation into Ridgeland Farms last year. Can you first explain to our fans why you were brought in as a special prosecutor?
The Dane County District Attorney's Office did not prosecute the case, and so citizen activists went to a judge, which is a rare thing done in Wisconsin, but it is possible, to ask a judge to issue a complaint. The judge did find there was probable cause for various violations of the law and then needed to appoint a prosecutor to handle the case, and so she appointed me to handle the case. That was my involvement in it. Basically, the judge giving me the authority to prosecute the charges that she found probable cause for.
Tim, as part of your involvement, did you visit the facility and take a tour inside and out?
I did not. No, I never went there.
You reviewed a ton, though. After everything you reviewed, did Ridgeland Farms break the law?
The number of violations that Judge Landford found were not something that I could prosecute because the majority of them were either very old, so beyond the statute of limitations, like going back to like 2010, or there were violations that were what I would call a technical violation that any business or farm might have on an inspection where things were remedied, things were fixed. And based on investigations by the state, DADCAP, and the USDA, I found that most of them just did not have any evidence to go forward. The only one that I did find there was some evidence that I could charge would be what were called the chariot procedures, and that was found to have been done a number of times to dogs without proper veterinary service. So I thought I had probable cause to charge that. I would not say that they committed a crime because they're innocent until proven guilty, and I could only say that I had enough to charge, but decided not to because we reached an agreement. But whether they're actually guilty or not is something I can't say. That would have been for a jury or a judge to decide later.
Can you briefly explain for our fans who don't know what that procedure is, and then also why you made the decision not to file the charges?
So the procedure is very, very oversimplified. Is a dog has a problem with the glands around their eyes. They become swollen and they need to be removed. And Ridgeland Farms had been doing this procedure for decades, since the 60s, but they were doing it in kind of a crude manner by just removing the glands with a knife or scissors without any anesthesia and not really following surgical procedures. The standards have improved since the 60s, and they did not keep up with the times, and that's why the veterinary board decided to suspend the veterinarian's license. So that's basically what the procedure is and why I thought that there was a violation. In terms of why I made the agreement I did, the grant of authority I had only would allow me to charge them with a crime, but charging a corporation with a crime would only lead to perhaps a fine or maybe some type of probation where we could supervise them, but we already are. It wouldn't allow me to close the farm, to seize the dogs, to shut them down or punish the owners personally. So when the farm agreed to say, instead of being charged criminally, how about we just close down that part of our business, the breeding part? And I thought that was, in the long run, better because that's more than I could have done had I charged it. And it completed the goal, which was to end the business at Ridgeland Farms, at least that part of the business. And so I think that satisfied our view and the activists' view. And while it didn't punish them for the past behavior, it did more than what I could have done had I charged it.
So, Tim, just to double back, you said that you did not visit the farm. Could that have aided in your reporting and understanding of what was happening there and the conditions inside?
I don't know because I wasn't viewing the farm as it is today. I was relying on incidents that happened in the past. So I relied on the investigators from DADCAP and the investigators from the USDA, the witnesses that observed the incidents. So I was not prosecuting the business for how they're running their business today. I was prosecuting for things that happened months and years ago to certain dogs. So it'd be kind of like if a theft happened at a business and they changed their security system, going to it a year later, it's not the same as what was going on then. So I was relying on paperwork and documents and investigators that viewed the incidents, documented the incidents, and I had enough to charge based on that.
Many people, and not just people here in southeastern Wisconsin, not just people across the entire state of Wisconsin or the country, but I mean around the world. I can see it from covering the story. I mean, people are writing on my Facebook page right now from different parts of the world about this story because they are so upset in some cases. Many people understandably upset over treatment of animals anywhere. There are a lot of animal lovers. But you say, I went through your special report, you say that the reality is that Ridgeland Farms' business model was not unusual. So for all those people who are still upset, what do you suggest that they do?
Well, I am aware of people from around the world who have contacted me as well, and I know that they've contacted other state agencies as well. one thing I would say is try to do a little bit of research and don't believe everything you read on the internet. Some of the things that were alleged just weren't true. I mean, they just didn't happen, and there's no other way to say that. So people are getting upset about some things that just didn't happen. And I think they're jumping to the emotion of hearing a dog being mistreated without understanding what the facts are and what actually happened and what the truth is. So first, I would say just don't believe everything you read on the internet. Secondly, I would say it doesn't do a lot of good to flood Dane County services with emails and calls, because that just slows them down in what they're actually trying to do. And lastly, I would say you can be an advocate and you can protest things, but try to do a little bit of research and thought into trying to figure out exactly what is going on and what does the law say. And we may not like animals being tested on, but it is legal. So unless the laws change, you can't just take the law into your own hands and decide, I don't like something, so I'm going to stop it. It is legal to test on animals right now in this country, and as long as it's legal, business like this can exist.
Part of me hates to even bring these up, but I am seeing people post them on social media as though they're true, and you just said the same. Don't believe everything you read. I'm seeing so many people post things that are not accurate. Because you investigated, can you tell our fans the allegations against the facility that you found there was no basis to charge?
Sure. One was something called devocalization, where animals were having their vocal cords cut. The allegation happened back in 2010, so that was so long ago I didn't spend a lot of time looking into it. The business disputed that, so I didn't really look too deep into that. The proper shelter and space requirements, animals kept on farms are not all kept in what we would keep our pets in. Pigs, cows, chickens. I mean, you can go to any farm and say, I'm not really sure I would want to live like that, but when farms have hundreds or thousands of animals, that's how they're kept. And by the USDA standards, the beagles that were kept at Ridgeland Farms had enough space requirements. They were socialized. They were given enough food and water. So there just wasn't any truth to the fact that they were being caged and not let out. The sanitation standards and ventilation standards also, there were some violations noted in the past couple of years, but they were fixed right away. And for decades, the USDA and DADCAP had visited this farm and found no violations. And as I said before, any business that's visited by OSHA or DADCAP or USDA, there might be a violation here or there when you get your report, but you fix it, you remedy it, and you go on. Those are not usually treated as criminal matters. And then there were some notes that some beagles had some injuries to their feet, but they were remedied, they were being treated, they were being kept separate from other beagles. And again, having grown up around farms myself, any farm with hundreds of animals is going to have some animals that have an injury, a sickness, a disease, and they're being treated. So if the structure were causing the injuries, you'd expect to see hundreds, if not thousands, of problems, not just a couple. So those were some of the things that when I actually looked into it, the allegations sound bad, but when you look at all the documentation and all of the records from the inspectors, you just find that it just wasn't being run in a way that these animals were being tortured or withheld food and water. The GRA procedure was the only one that I found they were not following the current veterinary standards. And they decided they were going to change that practice, and they're still being monitored by the veterinary board. But other than that, I had reports that they were euthanizing all their beagles, and that turned out not to be true. There were reports that they were torturing the beagles with electricity and other torture devices, and that was found not to be true. So a lot of the things that people are seeing online are just that. Things people are posting online that don't have any firsthand knowledge, and it's not coming from any reliable source.
Tim, we've heard from both sides throughout the course of the week here, including from Wayne Zhang, who helped organize the break-in at Ridgeland Farms over the weekend. I had brought up the fact that Ridgeland Farms had not been convicted or found guilty of any of these charges in a court. I asked him why after he painted a picture of what he described as a cruelty to animals situation inside the walls of the facility. I asked him why they haven't been criminally, not charged, but found guilty. And he said collusion. That was his answer, collusion. How do you respond to that?
I don't think Wayne is credible. And the fact that he organize this break-in, announce it ahead of time, and videotape it, I think just tells you he's out for self-promotion, and I just don't find him credible.
That is the La Crosse County District Attorney, Tim Granke. Tim, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tim.
Sure.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted garage door, don't let it get you down. Give my friends at Geis a call today. Doors and openers for every budget. Great brands like CHI and LiftMaster. Stuff that works, stuff that's installed properly. It's all done by Geis. And they've got that custom design center if your project requires custom treatment. It's Geis for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit GeisDoors.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
There's no championship league for small business owners. But if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at Lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Nice day today, 56 degrees, your high, good pops of sun, clouds rolling in later on, a low of 34. Tomorrow's high, 65 degrees, should be a beautiful day. Get out and enjoy it. Rain in the forecast on Sunday with a high of 48. 56 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 2:54. Wrapping up a Friday edition, wrapping up the week here at Wisconsin's Midday News. Boy, what a busy week it was. Check out the podcast page here or our YouTube shorts. We have a YouTube channel for Wisconsin's Midday News. You'll find it. You'll see some of the interviews that we had throughout the week. Everything podcasted as well to our WTMJ.com podcast page, our podcast page built by Siding Unlimited. Lots of stuff.
And I think, too, there are so many people who are very passionate about this story and the people who went to Ridgeland Farms, the animal rights activists, and took the dogs out. If you are passionate about that story, I do urge you to go back if you haven't heard all of our reporting, because this week on Wisconsin's Midday News, we have talked to all sides. We have talked to the attorney for Ridgeland Farms and Ridgeland Farm reps. We have talked to activists who went there and pulled those dogs out, including a preschool teacher from Denver who traveled here to do this. She said, I've never done anything like this in my life, but I felt compelled to, as she said, quote, save the puppies. We also talked with Wayne Shung, the man who led this group and has been doing similar things around the world. And then today we also talked with the La Crosse County District Attorney Tim Granke, who investigated Ridgeland Farms 2 years ago. The investigation started, and he picked it up last year and came to conclusions about what happened. So there's a lot of information out there, and I urge you, if you just heard one of the interviews, to take a listen to all of them.
2:56 on WTMJ. Wisconsin's afternoon news begins in just a few minutes.
For growing businesses, digital